Good evening and welcome to Falcon Media Sports Network pregame coverage. Back here after a few minutes, really, on WBGU 88.1 FM. We had some women's basketball on here earlier on, like probably just a half hour ago.
Not even.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, and so the final score of that game?
It was 51-49. The Red Hawks took the win there.
All right, so slight win for the Red Hawks. And then earlier on today, the BGSU men's basketball team, they got a win over Eastern Michigan. That game was over on Falcon Radio. So first we had men's, then we had women's basketball, and now we got some hockey coming up. And tonight's game is over at the Slater Family Ice Arena. It's against Lake Superior State. Last night they defeated the Falcons defeated Lake Superior State 3-1. It was kind of a quiet matchup earlier on, kind of got more interesting as the match progressed, but 3-1 was the final score last night. And yeah, they're going to be back in action tonight, 7:07 puck drop. Right now, let's take a quick break, and we'll talk more about the Falcon team and the Lake Superior State coming up right after this. You're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM.
On September 28, 2025, BGSU women's soccer's Lizzie Boltnick scored her first goal in 2 years in a 4-0 win over Central Michigan. She later earned a brace in the win. Falcon Media Sports Network's Henry Costco had the call of her first strike.
It's around Boltnick, gonna have a lot of space here. This side, she's gonna be on the breakaway. The 2-on-1, Borgman has to get back towards the goal, and she's got to put it forward over the head of Borgman and in. Lizzie Boltnick. Unbelievable. Taking advantage of Borgman being up near the midfield line.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network feature call.
Welcome back to Falcon Media Sports Network pregame coverage as the Bowling Green Falcon hockey team gets ready to take on the Lake Superior State Lakers. Match 2 of the weekend series tonight, 7:07 puck drop coming up here in a few. Nate Hinners here in the Colleen Center studio, joined by Artie Abrego and Gavin Gill. Gavin, your second match or second game of the day, second broadcast.
Yeah, back-to-back games. It's gonna be.
Technically, this is my second game of the day too, as well.
Yeah, I mean, don't disturbish him.
I mean, I wasn't stuck in this room, but I was working.
My second game as well, behind the board and doing the pregame show.
Oh, all of us have had 2
games
today.
Yeah, and actually my second hockey match of the weekend too. You know, I get back here and 3 broadcasts in 1 weekend. But you know what? Gotta love it. Anyways, let's talk more about tonight's game. Let's start off with the Falcons. Of course, coming off a win last night. How are they looking heading into tonight?
I mean, really, they're on a pretty good win streak. They've won 4 in a row, counting the last night's victory against Lake Superior State. A pretty solid win for them. They were really in the driver's seat for a while. I mean, obviously, they were tied for quite a little bit after Quinn Emerson goal, and then Adam Barone scored for Lake Superior State in the second period, but got it done after Brett Foe goal in the third, and then another one by Tyler Hodson late on the empty net. Picked up a 3-1 win, so 3 points, 3 goals, a really solid win for the Falcons, and heading into the second game in the series.
Absolutely. I mean, like, if you look at the last couple games in their box scores, besides the Northern Michigan series, the Lake Superior State, the Ferris State series, where they won 5-1. This is a big trend for the Falcons. They really don't do anything in the first period. They start getting the skates underneath of them in that second period, and the third period is when they really light it up and start scoring goals. We saw that last weekend. At Ferris State, I said that on the broadcast, and then they came out in the second period and scored like 3 or 4 goals. Yeah. So it's very hit or miss, I feel like.
I feel like they need that competitive, though, because I feel like they play better when they're under some sort of fire or pressure.
Absolutely.
And I've noticed a lot of times when they get in that 1-1, they're both tied in goals at a certain point. They play harder and they play faster and they play better, especially on that power play. And, I think that was a really good example of last game. They get tied 1-1. They score really early in that third period against Lake Superior State, and they manage to carry that momentum all the way to the end of the game. So I think we'll see something similar here today, like as we did last night.
Or go ahead, Nate.
Oh, I was going to say, just you can say what you said.
It's just like last night against the Ohio State or against the Buckeyes in that second game of the series. They did the exact same thing. They were tied going into the second period, and then the third period they scored within like 14 seconds, and then they just kept running it up on the Buckeyes. So that second half team mentality is not a bad mentality to have.
Yeah, moving on now to the Lakers. Of course, they lost last night. It was kind of a more competitive one. Bowling Green scored, then the Lakers scored, tied it up, and then Bowling Green came back towards the end and scored the last 2 points. So 3-1 was the final last night. But Lake Superior State did put on a bit of a competition too. So how are they looking heading into the second matchup tonight?
Go ahead. My computer's still up.
I'll go ahead. I mean, Lake Superior State, I think they just really need a win against this Falcons team. Obviously, they've losing in the all-time season series at 102 to 81 to 1, so they're not really anywhere near close, really taking over the Falcons in that series. And if you look at the CCHA standings, they're really near the bottom three in the CCHA standings. So they really need to get points today. So they need to score and they need to pick up a win. I mean, right now they're looking at 5-10 in the conference right now. They really need a win just in general. I mean, not even just against the Falcons.
I mean, even though 6, 7, so what is it, like 6 out of the 8 teams out of the CCHA make the postseason?
Yes.
So I mean they're really on the edge, even though they have 17 points compared to Ferris State's 8 points. But they really need to get a win to like stamp their spot into the CCH playoffs. Bowling Green did jump Minnesota State from last week in the points and has broken that 30, so they're solidifying their spot in the playoffs. But if Lake Superior State wants to stay competitive, they have to get a win tonight to like just get that edge over Ferris State.
Yeah, and you bring up the point total for BG. I mean, right on that 30-point line. I mean, up above Michigan Tech, as mentioned, with 31, St. Thomas Times with 33, and then Augustana with 33. So they're really on that edge of just getting into that top 3 spot in the conference. You know, anytime you can get a little bit of a better standing, especially when you head into the CCHA playoffs, it's always a good thing.
And like we brought it up a lot during like in Falcon Media Sports Network. The CCHA is one of the most competitive conferences that Bowling Green plays in, and we're getting to the back half of the season. Everyone's fighting for their spots. A lot of teams, like these top 5 teams, have basically solidified a spot into the postseason. But like you said, you want to get that higher ranking so you get a better matchup when it comes to the postseason.
And it's also just about confidence. I mean, the higher you were ranked up, the better your team feels, heading into that postseason.
Yeah, I mean, especially like getting a win tonight. Is it next week or in 2 weeks they play Notre Dame? Yes. So like you want to get that win underneath your belt to get that confidence to go into South Bend, get a win there, and then bring it back home to the Slater Family Ice Arena.
Yeah, all right. Coming up, we will have our roundtable talk a little bit more about the game. We'll also check out what's going on around the CCHA tonight, plus run down what went on in Falcon Athletics today and what you can expect from the Falcon Media Sports Network over the next week. Keep it here. You're listening to Falcon Media Sports Network pregame coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Complement your WBGU radio experience with additional content available online. Subscribe to our social media feeds on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to receive information about special events, promotional activities, and our program schedule. Stay connected with WBGU wherever you go and return to Radio Freedom. Thanks for listening to WBGU Bowling Green, Ohio.
Childhood cancer it's a long road. It's hard, but St. Jude has gotten us through it. St. Jude is hope that you have a chance at life. And it goes such a long way for every child diagnosed with cancer because everything that's learned is shared all over the world. It's awesome.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
BG Women's Basketball wraps up a short homestand at the Stroh Center against the Ohio Bobcats on Wednesday, January 21st at 7 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Gavin Gill, Noah Seeley, and Sam Bork begin the pregame show in the Kulin Center starting at 6:35 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, also streaming on bgfalconmedia.com. Adam Duffin and Dan Ridenauer will call the 7 p.m. tip-off at the Stroh.
All right,
Welcome back to Falcon Media Sports Network pregame coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM. The Falcons getting ready to take on the Lake Superior State Lakers in match number 2 for hockey this weekend over at the Slater Family Ice Arena. Now, Gavin and Artie, of course, last night the Falcons getting the 3-1 win. How are things looking tonight?
I would feel great if you're heading into this game, if you're a Falcons fan, or if you're Coach Williams. I mean, the team is on fire right now. As I mentioned earlier, 4 straight wins. You're really looking good, heading into this later half of the season, especially we got the Bemidji State series coming up and then the series against Notre Dame. So I'm feeling really good. One guy I'm really looking forward to today is Quinn Emerson. He scored 5 points in BGSU's last 2 games. So I'm looking for him to have a pretty big game today up against the Lakers once again.
I'm looking at Brent Foe. I know he got a goal yesterday, but I want to see him continue scoring and keep attacking that net a little bit more. Just because I feel like he's really gotten into a rhythm as of lately. Ever since I want to say before the Ohio State series, he was getting a little bit more involved. But ever since the Ohio State series, I've really seen his name more and have seen more highlights from him.
Yeah, and he was the guy that scored that goal early in the third period. So he really got them set up for the win yesterday. And, of course, the last person who scored was Tyler Hodson with that empty netter goal. Obviously, that's pretty much a given at that point in time how late it was. I mean, it was pretty much over. But still, I mean, just an extra point is always good.
Absolutely.
Taking a look at what's going on around Falcon Athletics this weekend. Of course, we had those 2 basketball games earlier today. First up, in men's basketball, the Bowling Green Falcons defeated the Eastern Michigan Eagles 85-79. That game was pretty close throughout, but Bowling Green just stayed ahead enough to get that 85-79 win. That was over in men's basketball. Then women's took it over at the Stroh, and they lost 51-49 against the Miami Redhawks. And yeah, that was just what we had on a few minutes ago before that. Otherwise, going on around Falcon Athletics this weekend, gymnastics going on tomorrow at Ball State. That starts at 1 o'clock tomorrow, so got some gymnastics going on tomorrow. Nothing on Monday. And then Tuesday, men's basketball returns, taking on Western Michigan. That is up at Kalamazoo. 7 o'clock tip-off for that. And then Wednesday night, the Falcons are back once again at home for women's. They're going to be at the Stroh Center taking on Ohio University. That game also coming up at 7. So got women's on Wednesday, taking on Ohio. Men's on Tuesday, taking on Western Michigan. And then gymnastics coming up tomorrow. So a pretty quiet next few days for Falcon Athletics. But yeah, you know what? After this week, probably going to need that. So that's look at what's going on around Falcon Athletics for this weekend and for the next few days. Artie and Gavin, what's going on around CCHA and college hockey this weekend?
So currently, the first period in the CCHA between Minnesota State and Michigan Tech just ended. So Michigan Tech is up 2-0 against Minnesota State. So keep an eye on that one.
Which
first period
big.
just ended. That's big.
Minnesota State is currently ranked 17 in the nation. So and also Michigan Tech for rank or for point system, Michigan Tech really needs these points over Minnesota State. And
beginning at the same time as our game tonight, Ferris State is taking on Augustana. All right. Now we know how to say it.
I'll give you my pronunciation sheet.
Oh, that would be perfect. Thank you, Nate. And then finally, our last game beginning in an hour is Bemidji State versus St. Thomas. So those are the games going around on the CCHA.
Games to be kind of looking at for Bowling Green athletic or Bowling Green hockey for around college hockey. I would say taking a look at the a future opponent in Notre Dame taking on Penn State at 8 p.m. We'll keep an eye on that. There's a ton of ranked on ranked matchups like Denver versus North Dakota. Michigan is taking on Minnesota. Minnesota's not ranked right now, but another ranked on ranked matchups would be Boston College taking on Providence and Quinnipiac Hawk taking on Cornell. That's another ranked matchup happening later tonight. So definitely going to be keeping an eye on that for the ranking system for this college hockey season.
All right, coming up, we'll have our Falcon 4 keys to the game. I have a player of the game watch as well. Keep it here. You're listening to the Falcon Media Sports Network pregame show on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This week's Falcon Media Sports Network Athlete of the Week is BGSU Hockey's freshman defenseman Ty Higgins. Ty Higgins scored 4 assists during Bowling Green Series sweep over Ferris State at FSU's A.V. Glavin Ice Arena. Higgins was named the CCHA Rookie of the Week for his weekend performance, which included a 3-assist night during BG's 5-1 victory on Saturday night. Since making his debut with the Falcons halfway through the season after being ineligible the first half of the season, Higgins has scored 6 assists through his first 4 career collegiate games against Ohio State and Ferris State. This has been Falcon Media Sports Network's Athlete of the Week.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Welcome back to Falcon Media Sports Network pregame coverage. Let's get to our Falcon Media Sports Network Player of the Game watch. Gavin, and already some players you're watching who could end up as our Falcon Media Sports Network Player of the Game.
I think you mentioned him earlier, Brett Foe. You know, I think that's the guy that you should look at. I mean, he had that goal in the second period against Lake Superior State. So, and like you mentioned, he's really been amping up a little bit of the aggressiveness lately. So I would definitely look for him as a Player of the Game watch.
I want to see Brody Waters a little bit more. We didn't see him a lot last game, but against in the Ferris State series, Brody Waters, he was kind of he was a big player for those wins against Ferris State. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on Brody Waters tonight.
All right, coming up, we will have our Falcon 4 keys to the game as we are just about a little over 10 minutes away from puck drop here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU Gymnastics hits the road for the first time this season to take on the Ball State Cardinals in Muncie, Indiana, on Sunday, January 18th in Maxham. Falcon Media Sports Network's Noah Seeley will have the recap of the meet on bgfalconmedia.com.
The morning show on WBGU FM is brought to you by the Bowling Green Chamber of Commerce. For more information, contact the morning show at bgchamber.net. Send them any program suggestions or information you might have. They are always looking for show ideas and guests. To have your birthday or anniversary announced, email or call the Bowling Green Chamber of Commerce at 419-353-7945.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces more feature stories about BGSU athletics than any other media outlet. Make sure to head over to bgfalconmedia.com and follow Falcon Media Sports Network at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with all of our content.
Welcome back to Falcon Media Sports Network pregame coverage, just about 10 minutes away now from puck drop as the Bowling Green Falcons get ready to take on the Lake Superior State Lakers. Match 2 tonight. Now heading into tonight's matchup, Artie and Gavin, what are your Falcon 4 keys to the game?
I have a real simple one right off the bat. Just get a goal early. I feel like that would set the tone right away for the Falcons team. Get them start off to a hot start. Really get them really get some momentum on the ice real early. Don't let Lake Superior State get an easy one. Just try to defend the best you can. Try to protect your goalie. Try to make sure they don't get put in an uncomfortable situation and get like an easy goal, because that can really bring down your team. Get those key blocks. Keep a really tight defensive point. And my last one is just attack on the power play. Take advantage of those penalty minutes and try to score on that power play.
I agree with the power play. I definitely think they need to be they should be super aggressive in the power play with the 2 power plays that they had yesterday. I think one of the big ones, with it being at home on a Saturday night with campus back in full swing, the bleacher creatures really need to be in effect tonight and get that stadium rocking. Really disturbing the Lake Superior State Lakers. Another one. Those are mainly my 2. I want to get into. I think my keys of the game would be getting into the head of the Lakers and making sure they make mistakes, getting underneath their skin like the bleacher creatures can, right alongside that goal, and causing issues for the Lakers.
All right, let's take one more break right now, and we'll get ready to send things on out to the Slater for tonight's matchup as the Falcons get ready to take on the Lakers here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media takes pictures for nearly all BGSU and Bowling Green related events throughout the year. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to check out thousands of photos and all the content.
Welcome back to the Falcon Media Sports Network pregame show. You're listening to WBGU FM in Bowling Green, Ohio. And as we're just about 7 minutes away from puck drop over at the Slater, a chilly one tonight here in Bowling Green. The National Weather Service forecasting partly cloudy skies tonight, a low around 13. Wind chill values as low as -2 outside. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high near 21. Wind chill values, though, staying as low as -2 tomorrow. Sunday night, a chance of snow, mostly cloudy, otherwise low around 14. And on MLK Day on Monday, a slight chance of snow in the morning, otherwise mostly cloudy, a high near 14. Wind chill values on Monday, though, as low as -7. So might be cold out on the ice, but nowhere near as cold as we'll probably be getting on Monday. And then also with that, too, there's reports of cars skidding off the road here in Bowling Green. So, if you're listening locally here in town, just be sure to be careful if you're out on the road. So now, of course, Falcon hockey coming up tonight, but also in the world of sports, something you guys have both been very interested in, the NFL playoffs going on.
More interested in Falcons hockey, of course,
Yeah,
but
right.
yes, NFL playoffs all going on right now. Bills are playing the Broncos, and then later night, Seahawks are playing the 49ers.
Yeah. And the Broncos-Bills game is a really tight one, within 1 point of each other, 23-24. Bills are up. So just keeping an eye on that. We'll probably do a update later on tonight with that as well.
All right, yeah. So, a lot of stuff going on in the world of sports. I mean, that Bills-Broncos game, very close. But, yeah, big night in the world of sports. I'm assuming a lot of our listeners now might be multitasking, as the two people in the studio with me are doing as well.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's take one more short break right now. We'll get ready to send things on out to the Slater Family Ice Arena with Ben Korak and Nathan Burkett. You're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces more feature stories about BGSU athletics than any other media outlet. Make sure to head over to bgfalconmedia.com and follow Falcon Media Sports Network at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with all of our content.
On September 5th, 2025, BGSU men's soccer forward Trace Terry found the back of the net with a spectacular goal within the first 5 minutes of the match to defeat Michigan State 1-0, marking the second straight season the Falcons defeated the Spartans. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer had the call of the goal on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel livestream.
Suarez will look along for Terry. He's going to find Terry. He's going to take it on the bounce. The left footed shot is in! Oh, what a strike from Trace Terry! 1-0 Bowling Green!
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
If you served honorably in our nation's armed forces and you're looking for a way to continue serving your fellow veterans in your community, then join AMVETS. Each year, AMVETS members volunteer millions of hours at VA healthcare facilities from coast to coast, helping to improve the lives of their fellow veterans through the VA Voluntary Services Program. AMVETS posts and departments also participate in a wide variety of community service projects ranging from Americanism in our schools to supporting the Special Olympics and Boy Scouts of America. If you no longer wear the uniform today, you can still serve through the AMVETS by joining today at amvets.org.
Millions of people all over the world go hungry, while we waste our land and water resources. Did you know that raising animals for human consumption uses 8 times as much water as growing fruits, vegetables, and grains? And that the same amount of land can produce 17 times more soybean protein than meat protein? For great vegetarian recipes, write People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. That's PETA, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510. Thanks.
BG Women's Basketball wraps up a short homestand at the Stroh Center against the Ohio Bobcats on Wednesday, January 21st at 7 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Gavin Gill, Noah Seeley, and Sam Bork begin the pregame show in the Kulin Center starting at 6:35 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, also streaming on bgfalconmedia.com. Adam Duffin and Dan Ridenauer will call the 7 p.m. tip-off at the Stroh.
This hour of programming on WBGU is brought to you by the Wood County District Public Library, located at 251 North Main Street, available by phone at 419-352-5104, or available online at wcdpl.org.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
BGSU women's basketball has started 3-2 in MAC play, and senior forward Kendall Moxie has been a breakout star as of late. On January 3rd against Central Michigan, Moxie posted a double-double stat line of 16 points and 15 rebounds in a close loss. She followed the performance with 15 points and 8 rebounds with a near double-double in the victory over Northern Illinois on January 10th. Overall, on the season, Moxie is shooting over 78% from the final and leading the Falcons in field goal percentage. The Maryland native is making a strong push to be a consistent part of the rotation. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
Welcome back to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage, and that's going to start to wrap things up for our pregame show tonight. The Falcon hockey team getting ready to take on the Lake Superior State Lakers from over at the Slater Family Ice Arena. Ben Korak and Nathan Burkett are over there now. How's it going out there? How's the vibe over there?
It's very nice. The arena buzzing, and they're looking for the second win of the weekend, a 3-1 Bowling Green victory over Lake Superior State yesterday. Thank you to Nate, Gavin, and Artie that you'll hear from at first, second intermission report, and post-game. They're back in the Cooling Center studios walking you through our pregame today, and myself and Nathan Burkett here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. Nathan, yesterday, a very tight game between these two teams, although it felt like Bowling Green was going to finish with the upper hand. They did finish with the upper hand, although it took them a minute to get there, and they're trying to do the same today.
Tonight they have an opportunity to close out not just the weekend sweep, but the season sweep over the Lakers. It's also Mighty Ducks night here at the Slater Family Ice Arena, so the listeners can expect a lot of references from me to the movie.
28 saves, 2 goals allowed for Rourke Appleby. He's in the net for the second night in a row for Lake Superior State, and the third time this season against the Falcons as the puck harums back up to the blue line inside the Bowling Green O-Zone. McKinley and Ty Higgins starting for the fourth game in a row as a defensive pairing, and probably out there because they're able to get the puck inside the blue line so quickly. Here's a slap shot blocked and into the corner as a couple of defensemen change for the Falcons. Puck back into the Bowling Green end, and they'll chase. Forward line starting for BG, Grant Ryman and Waters, Higgins and McKinley back on the blue line, and Jacob Steinman, a new goaltender today, starting in place of Cole Moore. Moore with 1 goal allowed and 18 saves yesterday. Steinman's last game played, a 1-goal allowed win against Ferris State. And again, Burkett, we've talked about it a lot, not a bad goaltender that you can put out here for the Falcons.
Nope, a perfect, I won't say perfect, but a very strong trio of goaltenders that Coach Woolley has assembled for this season.
Back in the corner, Hodson back out to the blue line. Norris to keep it in. Turns it over to Ryan Beck. Beck looks to clear it. He does. And ahead, and the Falcons come up with the puck. It's Gustav Stjernberg, who has 3 goals this season. Had a very nice one against Ferris State, as Hodson gets a tip there down into the O-zone. But he does not have an assist yet. Stjernberg has it, and looking for his first one today. Slap shot from Crampton, right wing blue line corner, right into the chest of Appleby. The first save, the first stoppage of the game today. Falcons win yesterday, took them up to 4th place. And Nathan, it's a very tight top of the road for the CCHA. Minnesota State now below the Falcons as well as Bemidji, but everybody separated by 5 points or less.
Exactly. BG right now only 3 points behind first place, which is a tie between Augustana and St. Thomas.
Must take 3 points here for the Falcons, considering they did leave 4 points on the table in the Northern Michigan series earlier. That the worst team in the CCHA this year, so you got to make up some ground. And then after this weekend, they go on to play all top teams in the CCHA, all vying for the top seeds and for home playoff, as the Falcons are. Right wing corner, Max Martin digging in the corner. He was listed extra skater yesterday, scratched before puck drop in favor of Ivan Korodiak. Today playing on a line and forcing Tanner Scott to the extra skating position. Rihard Simonovic actually the extra skater, and Tanner Scott scratched before puck drop. Minville puck away. Through center comes Brett Foe down the right wing. He's working in tight with Appleby, and he's bumped away. He wraps the puck around to the left wing side, held inside the blue line by McKinley, who turns it over, although he kept it in the O-zone. Now back the other way. Higgins goes for the puck, misses it though. Back up to the blue line. Ulrich with the shot in, blocked by McKinley. High in the air, why not? Pushes it forward, but held inside the blue line. Down the right wing with the puck. Ryan Beck, he works in. Good poke check there by Why Not. Back out to the blue line. Driskinnis fires it in. Deflection in front. Low angle chance there from Regan Milburn. One of two Milburns on this Lake State squad. Connor, the first line center. Regan, the second line center. Both brothers. Shot in by Galloway. Around the other side. Slap shot. Scores! Right side from the goal line. Set up from behind the goal line, and Lake State leads 1-0 here with 16:58 to go in the first. Looks like that's Wilson Dahlheimer with that slap shot from the right side. A low angle to beat Steinman, who couldn't get over to the left post quick enough.
Puck bounced off the boards behind Steinman, right to Dahlheimer's stick, and he's able to put it away.
3 minutes, 2 seconds into the first period. Lake State strikes first, their first lead of the weekend. The Falcons scored first yesterday, and the best Lake State had was a tie against Bowling Green that they held from Adam Barone's goal in the second period to Brett Foe's game-winning goal in the third. Pass from Dom Ryman ahead for Waters. Waters has to skate into the corner for it. Ryman takes a tumble in the opposite corner, digging the puck out. Teleguin knocks Grant down to the ice, who's back up, and the puck outlet pass to Mangoni won't land. The tip is against the Falcons, so icing's waved off. 1-0 Lake State leads. Wilson Dahlheimer with that goal. Number 3 on the season for the fourth line center. Puck up at neutral ice. Bowling Green takes it in. Hodson down behind the goal line to Rourke Appleby. Appleby, not a bad day yesterday. 2 goals allowed. He deflects this one aside here on a slap shot from Niedermeyer. Out to central ice. Crampton sweeps it ahead. Hodson with the recovery in his own zone. Poked out for Emerson, and now a 3-on-2. Emerson out to the left wing. Ben Duran works in. Good pass. Crampton, his shot blocked. Made by the stick of Ryan Beck as he was skating back. A nice block there to stifle that 3-on-2 opportunity. Bowling Green takes it back in. Ben Duran next to the half wall on the left wing side. Misses his pass to Tyler Hodson. Back up to the blue line. Simonovic not able to hold it in. It's back out to neutral ice. Down the left wing comes Max Martin. His shot gloved by Appleby, and Appleby will hold on with a crowd of Lakers surrounding him.
So last night, Ben, we saw an early goal for the Falcons. And tonight, Lake Superior scores early to give themselves a 1-0 lead.
Steinman allowed 1 goal and 18 saves against Ferris State last week. Took a win in the second game, 5-1. Had a lot of goal support, but also some pretty solid defense. And there, the defense just not able to pick up Wilson Dahlheimer. Up to Simonovic, who for the second time can't hold it inside the blue line. And now Hunter Ramos, the puck ahead. Harrington back up to the blue line. Lewandowski knocks it down. Poke check. Simonovic recovers in his own zone. Pokes it out past the blue line. Galloway's there. He gets it back inside offensive territory to Ramos. Simonovic's clearing attempt is picked off. High slot away. Ramos, his shot missed wide left. Steinman had a beat on it. He was out of the crease. Out to the blue line again. Hunter Ramos nearly made that a 2-goal game here with 5 minutes expired in the first. Out at center ice, poke check by Jaden Grant, turns it over. He gets the recovery on his own logo. Down the right wing, Heat comes, bumped into the boards by Regan Milburn. Behind the goal line, Driskinnis pokes it free. Grant broke a 3-game goal streak yesterday without a goal. Had a goal in the second game against Ohio State, 1 in both games against Ferris State. An impressive weekend it was for him last week, and great in the faceoff circles was Jaden Grant yesterday, one of the main takers for Bowling Green, and did so very well. Up to center ice, Niedermeyer forces the puck down into the Falcon end. Recovery for Stjernberg. He gets it away after 2 converging Lakers. Now a bank pass up to Niedermeyer. He gains the entry. Niedermeyer up with Duran. His shot deflected away into the corner. Save made by Appleby. Right wing side, Lakers digging for the puck. Dahlheimer flips it up and into his own bench. 13:30 to go in the first period. A 1-0 Lake State leads off of Wilson Dahlheimer's goal from the right side. No assist given on that goal yet. There's a shot in from the blue line that caromed around the net. Ben Duran in for the draw to the left of Appleby in the Lake State end of the ice on the right side of your radio dial. Puck dropped. Tyler Hodson with a wrist shot, but he left the puck there next to where his tape was. Now another entry going for Emerson, who tips it ahead. Nope, he missed the tip, and it's going to be an icing against the Falcons.
The faceoff will be in the offensive zone for the Lakers. The Lakers tonight wearing their all-blue uniforms with gold and white accents. BG wearing their white home jerseys with white jerseys, white socks, white helmets, and brown pants.
Ben Duran in for the draw against Connor Milburn. He jumps a bit early. Connor Milburn, again, the brother of Regan Milburn. 10 points this season for Connor. Only 2 points for Regan, who didn't play yesterday, is in the lineup today. As there's a quick shot, and it's gloved by Steinman. Piku and looked to be Quinn Emerson tangled up a bit there up at the point, but nothing to come of that. Didn't see a lot to come of anything yesterday, especially the gatekeepers in the penalty box. Only opened them once, and that was for too many men on the ice against Lake State. No infractions for either team, and the Falcons went penaltyless for what is assumed to be the first time this century.
First time since 1978.
Yep. A very large number as Ryan Beck there. Slap shot in toward Piku, who was dropped down to the ice. Sloan gets it poked away. Piku down the right wing. His centering feed won't land. Max Martin with his tape in the way. And now the Falcons carry it ahead. McKinley the pass up. Martin with Sloan on sides. Into the right wing side. McKinley the shot in. Deflected on the doorstep. Cleared away. Minville with the puck now left wing. High wheel. Back to McKinley up at the point. Higgins gets it back. Feed in tight with Appleby and directed into the corner. Higgins holds it inside the blue line. He tumbles into the boards. That was a dangerous fall for Ty Higgins as he skates off. Up to Ryan Beck on the left wing side. Beck, the transfer from Colorado College, playing in his final season of hockey with Lake Superior State. Started the season as a centerman. That's where he played both games against the Falcons, and since moving to left wing has been 15 points in 15 games coming into this weekend, and went scoreless in the first game against the Falcons yesterday. Up at center ice, puck carried ahead by Ramos. Ramos misses a check. Lewandowski back to Ramos, and an offside is the call against the Lakers. 12 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first. 1-0, Lake Superior State leads.
Mentioning Bowling Green staying out of the penalty box, in their earlier season, or their earlier series earlier this season, 2 to 3 goals that Lake Superior scored over that weekend sleep for the Falcons were on the power play. So very crucial that BG does their best to stay out of the box. Don't give the Lakers an opportunity to go on the man advantage.
A 4-1 win for the Falcons and a 3-2 win for the Falcons. That in Sault Ste. Marie. A slap shot with traffic in front. Steinman covers it up, and we'll get a face-off in the O-zone now. But that series, a defining one for the Falcons. Their first 2 wins of the regular season, their first 2 wins of the conference season. Set them on track for the first half of the year, although they're certainly playing better hockey now than they did then, and as are the Lakers, who are 500 in their last 10 games coming into the weekend. Waters gives it up. Niedermeyer down to the goal line. He's pressed up against the boards, carries the puck with him. Waters still with the puck. He passes it across the slot, but won't land to a white sweater, and Ramos picks it off. Off the half wall, ahead on a bank pass. Now to the right wing, Lewandowski dumps it in. Harrington goes in for the check against McKinley. And the puck away, the Falcons recover it. Jaden Grant to Brody Waters, tipped ahead by Dominic Ryman. That line's been quiet this weekend, although a lot of ice time. Max Martin, kind of a slash high on the head of Mike Brown, the alternate captain and skating defenseman. Down picked off there in the defensive zone. Sloan out to Jeremy Minville down the right wing. Number 8 with the puck toward the goal line. Pass in tight with Rourke Appleby, and it doesn't land to a Falcon. Higgins with the puck, fires it in, blocked by Max Martin as he was trying a screen but got in the way of the shot. McKinley down toward the goal line. Falcon defensemen, as the season wears on, are getting even more willing to go down deeper into the offensive zone. And a well-skating Falcon team able to cover the blue line. as Sloan does there. Down pinned up in the corner. Held in. Slap shot Stjernberg kicked away by Appleby into the right wing side. Regan Milburn to try and clear. The Falcons back in the O-zone. 10.5 to go in the first period. And a recovery for Lake State as the Falcons will change lines. Mike Brown with the puck, the alternate captain. Transfer from Merrimack to Lake Superior State 2 seasons ago after he redshirted in the 2023-2024 season. 6 blocks in 2 games against Bowling Green earlier this season, an impressive number. This puck wrapped in, back up to the blue line. Played by Adam Barone, slap shot coming, wide right of Steinman. Bellinger down into the half wall. Stjernberg, a check up high, the puck still free. Up to Hodson, he looks to tip it ahead, does so out to Emerson center ice. Emerson to make something happen. He takes it into the O-zone, leaves it back. Ben Duran. Duran with the puck behind the goal line. Didn't get a pass off. Is poked down by Sasha Teleguin. Now to the right side, Mike Brown comes up. An even first period between these two teams. And Lake State has the lead with a goal by Wilson Dahlheimer. Entry for Beck. Pass to the slot. 3 Falcons there. Crampton picks it off. Ryman takes a check from Connor Milburn up to center ice. The Falcons with the puck. They force it up again. Crampton, the freshman defenseman, onsides to Ryman. His shot in, blocked into the corner by Antonacci. Puck pinned up behind the goal line in the Falcon offensive zone. Milburn, stretch pass out to Piku, won't land a number 77. 2 number 77s skating today. Dom Ryman for the Falcons, Brandon Piku for the Lakers, and rare that you see 2 number 77s on the ice. No icing on a stretch pass there that was tipped at the center line. Puck up to center ice, picked off by McKinley, ahead for Sloan down the left wing. Sloan's got Martin in center, didn't get the pass to him. Although Martin was essentially uncovered, there was a man in the way. Ramos out to Harrington, right wing, gets pass across, and Ramos moved with Harrington and wasn't able to get to the puck. Martin didn't tip it. Icing is waved off. Evan Bushy dropped down to the ice, and now coming the other way, the Lakers again. Hunter Ramos trying to break it free, got Lewandowski with him. Lewandowski with the puck. Up to Wilson Dahlheimer. Dahlheimer up to the blue line. Draskinis shot into Steinman, a rebound chance for Lewandowski. A centering pass as Lewandowski is crushed by Stjernberg. And the puck away and out of danger, although the Lakers will get there first.
Stjernberg laying a hit, reminiscent of the Bash brothers, Dean Portman and Fulton Reed there.
Crampton with the puck through his own zone. Lead pass up to Quinn Emerson, left side. He's picked off by Barone, who steals that right out of his back pocket. There's Niedermeyer down into the corner. Hodson and Emerson. They don't get the puck back. The blue and gold skate away from it. Niedermeyer with the puck back in his own zone. A much better game already for the Lakers today. There wasn't a period yesterday where it felt like they outplayed the Falcons. Here's Duran with a shot that fires wide. Duran able to hold it inside the blue line from the right wing now. Hodson behind the goal line with Barone. Barone gets the puck away. Broke a 3-game point streak 2 games ago against Northern Michigan, and 2 points in the last 2 games for him. An assist against Northern and a goal last night, the only goal for the Lakers in game 1 of this weekend series. Puck in center ice. Waters hammers away at it to keep it out. He is able to do so. Bellinger drops Waters down to the ice, and we're going to get a penalty upcoming. Pass to the slot won't land to Grant. Lake State will get a touch, and we're going to get a penalty to Lake State. 6:35 to go in the first period. We're going to get our second power play of the weekend, and it's going again to Bowling Green. This timeout brought to you by Juniper Brewing Company, located at 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft beer and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. 1-0, Lake State leads here in the Slater Family Ice Arena on your home for Falcon hockey.
The NCAA Division I Cabinet has announced new transfer portal windows for the men's and women's college basketball teams. The transfer portal for both sports will open 15 days after their respective national championship games. The women's portal will be open from April 6th through April 20th, while the men's portal will run from April 7th through April 21st. Additionally, when a coaching change occurs, a 15-day transfer portal window will open 5 days after the new coach is hired or publicly announced. To go along with the changes to the off-season transfer portal, any mid-season transfer will no longer be eligible to play in the second half of the season. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Wilson Dahlheimer scoreless against BG in 4 games played through last season and this season. Didn't record any stats in those games either, and he's got the ice tilting goal toward the Lakers, his third of the season, only of the game so far, and the Lakers lead 1-0. But Sam Bellinger has put the Falcons on the power play for just the second time this weekend, the second infraction against the Lakers, although there was one toward the end of the game on an empty net, resulted in an empty net goal granted to Tyler Hodson as he was tripped away from the empty net. That would have probably resulted in an empty net goal had he not been penalized. And now the Falcons in the offensive zone with a man advantage. Didn't score on their only other opportunity.
Lake Superior actually has the worst penalty kill percentage in the CCHA, 54th in the NCAA. Only 75% of the power plays they face do they actually kill off.
Crampton to Higgins, down to the goal line, working in. Grant knocked out of the air, down on the right side of Appleby, and it's taken down behind the goal line. Clearing attempt, fanned on there. Ryman fake slap shot, back to the point. Now back to Ryman on the right wing side. He gets a bit deeper, wraps it around the goal. Back up to the left wing side to Ty Higgins. Back down to the goal line on the left side. At the point, Crampton fake slap shot. Now to Ryman. Back to Crampton at the point. Down in deep. Bowling Green on the power play. Ryman with the puck. Down to Jaden Grant behind. Sorry, that's Brody Waters. Now back to Ryman. Crampton shot in. No deflection there from Jaden Grant as he was camped out in front. Quinn Emerson's knocked down to the ice. Puck away. Free to Harrington. And Harrington clears it away. By the time the Falcons get a change, it'll be a full minute expired on the power play. Breck McKinley takes it from behind his goaltender, Jacob Steinman, who's only seen 8 shots and he's allowed 1 goal. Hodson the fling into the corner. Brody Waters to peel it out from the orange ring around the half wall. Into the corner again. Puck worked free out to the blue line. McKinley. Open ice to Norris on the left side. He's crushed into the boards and tossed down to the ice. Puck held inside the blue line. Outlet to Hodson. Hodson, wrist shot, save made. Appleby still in tight with the goaltender, and he covers it up into the corner as Hodson gave a big thwack to Appleby on the back end of the play. You're going to get a whistle, and we're going to get 34 seconds left to go on the man advantage. That was a good opportunity for Hodson. Ulrich just a bit late to get there. And teed it right up, put it right into the chest of the Lake State sophomore goaltender. And his 51st game played today, his 50th played last night, and through 50, 2.85 goals allowed and a .904 save percentage. A solid start to his career. Hodson on the right wing, back up to the blue line, McKinley. 25 seconds to go on a man advantage. Slap shot, Hodson into Appleby, and he gloves it again. Tyler Hodson, the leader on the Falcon in power play goals. First on the team in that department, tied for second in total goals, tied for fourth in assists, tied for third in points, and third in plus minus. Top 3 in almost everything is Tyler Hodson, except for that power play goals. Number 1 on the team with 4. McKinley to the middle. Durant slap shot. Waters to clean it up. Appleby again standing tall. 12 seconds to go on the man advantage. They're putting pressure on him, and he's standing on his head.
Appleby wearing number 33, same number as Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks movies, but he's playing more like Julie the Cat Gaffney, making a multiple big saves with either his glove, his blocker, or his pads tonight.
Under 5 to go in the first period. 11 shots on goal for BG, 8 for the Lakers. A couple of very nice ones for the Falcons on this power play. that they have 12 seconds to score on, only their second of the weekend. For a good power play unit for the Falcons, third in the CCHA, 24% conversion rate on their man advantages. Puck onto the right side. Open ice out to McKinley at the blue line. Now down to Hodson. This unit has stayed on the ice almost the entire time. McKinley to Sternberg, out of the box. Penalty kill successful for the Lakers. Low angle shot off the side of the net. In the play comes Bellinger, pins up the puck immediately, and officially a successful penalty kill for the Lakers. Their second of the weekend on 2 opportunities. Puck still in a skirmish on the half wall and carried away by Connor Milburn, who will get a couple of Lakers a change. Sternberg with the puck. He carries it ahead, lofts it high in the air. He's almost tripped up, and he's going to be the first man into the zone. Goes for a check on Barone, but he's hit away from the puck. Out to center ice. Played there to the right side. That was Hadley Hudak that fired it in down into the left wing corner. Barone pins the puck up. Dahlheimer takes a check. Puck away to the Falcons. Brandon Wynot along with Brett Foe and Connor Levis. Skating fourth line for the Falcons today. Noah Morneau still out with injury. Dislocated his shoulder and is now seen in the Slater Family Ice Arena without a sling. So he is getting better, and maybe one more week of mixed time and he'll be back to practicing with the Falcons. The first line forward, and one that his scoring has dropped off but still does so much good for this Bowling Green team. Pass from goal line is picked off and played. Druskinis blows a tire. It's into the corner. The Falcons with Druskinis on his hands and knees. Max Martin was dropped down to the ice with a stick a bit low, but no penalty coming against the Lakers. Druskinis down behind the goal line. Higgins sweeps it away. 6 points in 5 games for Higgins through yesterday. Is in his 6th game played, and will, even if he doesn't score today, stay as a point per game player. Max Martin in. Now he peels away. Puck away to the blue and gold out to center ice. Piku ahead for Ryan Beck. Doesn't land. Out to Minville, who stays on sides. Defended by Antonacci. Minville puts it behind Appleby directly. They got 2.5 minutes to go in the first period. 1 goal for Lake Superior State. Down the right wing comes Caleb Mangoni, the freshman, back up to the blue line. Antonacci with the puck. Antonacci looking in. He fires, deflected, but carried away by the Falcons off of the doorstep by Brody Waters. Connor Milburn battling for the screen position there. Milburn down the right wing side now makes a move, defended by both McKinley and Crampton, and the puck comes off it, or the net comes off its moorings. Milburn got in tight and knocked it off. The 2-minute warning in the first period, 1-0, the Lakers lead.
Linesman will put the net back on its moorings, and face-off will be to the right side of Steinman in Bowling Green's defensive end.
Jaden Grant in for the draw. We mentioned an impressive day yesterday in the face-off circles, 14 and 7. He took 21 total face-offs and won 14 of them. A great ratio for the Falcons, who were almost at 60% face-off win percentage. The far and away leader in the CCHA, one of only 2 teams at above 50%. That's them and Michigan Tech. Fired around. Quinn Emerson with speed ahead down the right wing. Mike Brown skating with him. Emerson to clear it in front, and Appleby pokes it away. The Falcons have centered a lot of pucks this weekend, especially yesterday, but a good amount today as well, and just nobody camped out in front of the blue paint to clean them up. There's Duran. He looks to carry the puck away, but he misses it and leaves it at his own feet. Emerson battling for it. Duran low angle. He's deflected into the corner by Druskinis. Druskinis a check onto the Falcon. Lifted out to center. Played there by Sternberg in front of his own bench. A minute to go in the first period. The Falcons leading in shots on goal again, but trailing in the part that matters. Emerson into Appleby. Appleby falls down on his back next to the net. Emerson's dropped down to the ice. Somebody's going to get a penalty. Emerson and Norris in battling there.
It was Hodson dropped. And
Emerson really getting into it.
The Slayer comes alive.
With the Lakers, Hudak taking in Niedermeyer. Grant in there as well. big goings on here in the right wing corner in the O-zone. All from Emerson streaking in on Appleby, who took a tumble in his own net.
Appleby's still down.
Emerson's going to go to the box for roughing. Looks like Druskinis is going to go as well, as he's still chirping a couple of Falcons.
Ben, did you see the video from last night of the Boston University versus
UMass Lowell
fight?
I did.
I didn't expect to see one of those tonight, but here we are.
Nothing even close to that. Emerson, who worked in tight. Actually, it was Galloway that caught Appleby up high, so that was all for nothing. It was his own player.
Friendly fire.
The net did come off, so nothing after that counted. A possible major penalty coming. There's nothing going to be assessed to Quinn Emerson unless it's after that play that got in tight to Appleby.
He knocked the net off, and who was the Laker who was streaking through there?
Tyson Galloway, it looked like.
He's the one who ran into Appleby. So Galloway into Appleby, Emerson into the net.
Appleby is up and on his skates. He looks to be okay. The trainer walking back off. Druskinis steps out of the box. They're reviewing for a major penalty. I don't see how they give anything to Emerson unless it was what was going on in the corner.
They're definitely going to give Emerson a roughing for not the 5-minute major, but definitely the 2 minutes for.
Druskinis was also not the
after the play
defender of Emerson as he streaked toward the net, so that's definitely going to be after. And I'm assuming it's just going to be offsetting penalties essentially here. There's another view of it as we see. Yeah, Galloway's the one that hits Appleby and knocks him flat on his back in the crease.
Also, the player who was dropped behind the Lake Superior net was not Emerson, it was Hodson. So I don't know why the Lake Superior defender felt that Hodson deserved to be knocked down, as he had nothing to do with the play.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it should be assessed to the whoever took down Hodson. Hodson, a completely innocent party in all of this. And there's nothing there that screams, I mean, that's a hockey play. He pushes the puck right into the pad of Appleby, doesn't make any contact aside from the stick.
Very dangerous moment, though, for Appleby. Gets hit right in the head, and he was down for a bit. He is up now and seems to be okay.
So Emerson still sits in the box, assuming it's just going to be 2, but here's the call coming from the head official. Four on 4. Johnny Druskinis will have to skate back to the box. Oh no, he's being sent off the ice. And so is Quinn Emerson.
For the roughings.
So they only gave him 2 minutes for roughing, but they're sending them off the ice.
Giving them both.
The Falcon leading scorer is gone. And Druskinis, one of the better defenders for Lake State, is gone. And we're going to get 4 on 4 for just 2. A flabbergasting call. I'm mighty confused. But the first line of Falcons will play, or the second line of Falcons will play without their right winger, Hodson, Duran, and Emerson. And now you wish your extra skater was a forward. Braden Crampton, Jaden Grant, Dom Ryman, and Jackson Niedermeyer. 4 forwards, and Niedermeyer, who used to be a forward. That's all on the ice for the Falcons. Crampton slashed and spun out of the play, and a penalty upcoming. Steinman out of the net. The Falcons will have a free play here, essentially. Niedermeyer with the puck. He gives it away. McKinley, 5 skaters on 4 during this 4 on 4. McKinley the other way. He works in. Shot into Appleby. Rebound chance off the side of the cage. Touched and swept away by Hudak, but we're going to get a penalty.
Crampton was slashed right on, I believe, the knee area in the leg, right where there's no padding for the shin pad. It'll be one of the captains, Sasha Teleglin, to the box.
2 minutes to the captain, and now the Falcons will have a 4 on 3, I believe, for the next minute 33. I think they're going to choose Mike Brown, Connor Milburn, and a player who has yet to turn his numbers to me, William Ulrich, it looks like, against Higgins and McKinley and Grant and Ryman.
Might actually be for knee-on-knee contact.
Yeah.
Yep, that will be the call, knee-on-knee contact.
Crampton lost step as he hobbled off, but he's on his feet and okay. Still on the bench. Higgins with McKinley. McKinley with the puck. High slot, he works down to Dom Ryman on the right side. Slap shot, McKinley, drop down in front. Cleanup attempt from Grant. Higgins sweeps it out to the blue line in the right wing corner. McKinley gives it up, one-timer. Dom Ryman well aimed, but it misses up high. Higgins with the puck to the right wing. Ryman, low angle shot again. Save made by Appleby. Into the left wing corner. Time expires in the first period. We're going to get 1 minute and 3 of 4 on 3 at the start of the second period, although it's a 1-goal lead for the Lake Superior State Lakers. Wilson Dahlheimer with the only goal in the first, assisted by Tyson Galloway and Johnny Druskinis. Druskinis and Emerson will not see any time the rest of this game. Back in the Cooling Center studios, Nate and Gavin and Artie will discuss what has gone on during this first period in our Rick Crow First Intermission Report. You're listening to Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On February 21st, 2025, BGSU men's basketball upset Toledo at Savage Arena for the first time since 2021, defeating the Rockets 69-68. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz had the call of the game-winning moment on Falcon Radio.
Johnson inbounds to Campbell. They do not foul. Bowling Green marches into Savage Arena, exacts revenge on the Toledo Rockets, and gets a much-needed conference victory over their arch-rivals, defeating Toledo 69-68. What an improbable win for the Bowling Green Falcons.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Be a part of the return to Radio Freedom on WBGU FM. Our non-commercial programming efforts rely on the support of our local community. WBGU offers sponsorship opportunities in the form of underwriting. Underwriting is an effective method of gaining exposure for your business in Northwest Ohio and helps us continue producing local content. For more information regarding underwriting sponsorship at WBGU, visit bgfalconmedia.com.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces more feature stories about BGSU athletics than any other media outlet. Make sure to head over to bgfalconmedia.com and follow Falcon Media Sports Network at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with all of our content.
Welcome to our Falcon Media Sports Network First Intermission Report. It's brought to you by Rick Crow, longtime BGSU hockey fan and listener of Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM. So, kind of an exciting first period, There was kind of a fight, a lot of stuff happening, kind of. What happened, Artie and Gavin?
I mean, you saw Lake Superior State, kind of go up early, and then BG kind of went down for a long time. I mean, they've gotten a couple chances on goal. They've caught in a couple shots. Just haven't got anything to sink yet. And, of course, you had that big fight, that kind of a fight.
It's more like a skirmish.
A little bit of a skirmish, but Quinn Emerson was sent off the ice along with the Lake Superior State player. So that's a bit of what happened there. I mean, but BG's been really down for a minute now.
With Quinn Emerson, he's not coming back for the rest of the game. That's pretty big for the Falcons. Moving forward, I feel like Emerson has been. I feel like he's been talked about a lot over these last couple of weeks, and really bringing more heat to the ice than other players.
He had 5 points in the last 2 games, so that's a pretty big loss.
I mean,
the Falcons.
He's leading the team in goals or points right now, so
it's a very big loss.
And overall, Lake Superior State up on the Bowling Green Falcons 1-0. A little bit of the opposite right now of what we had in the first period last night, where Bowling Green led at the end of the first period. So right now, the Lakers up 1-0. Bowling Green not listening to one of your Falcon 4 keys to the game, Marty.
Yeah, they got a early goal there. Pretty much felt like 3 minutes into the period. Actually, exactly 3 minutes into the first period, they got a score from Wilson Dahlheimer. He got the goal for Lake Superior State, so that put him up 1-0. And then BG, like I said, just went down for a long time. They've gotten 15 shots on goal, haven't gotten anything to go in the net yet, and they haven't got a single goal on both their power plays yet. So it's a really long while to go for BG if they want to build it up in the second period.
And in other statistical categories, they're beating Lake Superior and with only 1 penalty compared to Lake Superior's 3, face-offs 1, and then block shots. Bowling Green only has 2, where Lake Superior has 7. But still, you really just. I mean, I brought this up. I feel like this kind of gives off that Ohio State second game vibes, coming out of or going into a new period off of a long skirmish that happened on the ice. So, I mean, I would honestly see the Falcons coming out and seeing that Quinn Emerson loss and kind of rallying behind that and absolutely going in head first and trying to score as fast as possible in this second period.
Yeah, all right. Coming up, we will talk more about this match as well as our player of the game watch and take a look at what else is going on around the CCHA and in college hockey. You're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Media Sports Network writes and publishes over 1,000 stories per year, including game previews, recaps, sidebars, opinion pieces, feature stories, and more. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to view all of our content for every sport throughout the year.
We are the boy band. Your tween made you see. We are the boy. It's painful concert number 3. We are the boy band. We're 5 and 19. We are the boy band. Always singing on key.
You love your kids enough to take them to see their favorite band. Love them enough to make sure they're buckled up in the back seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Falcon Media Sports Network's Intermission Report here on WBGU 88.1 FM. It's brought to you by Rick Crow, longtime BGSU fan and listener of Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM. So Artie and Gavin, we have a kind of as a result of that kind of fight. Player of the game watch kind of changing a little bit. Who are some athletes though you still have your eye on?
I mean, I'm still looking at Brett Foe. I mean, he hasn't been as involved as we thought he would be at this time, but I would still think he could get involved at some point. Higgins has a block for the Falcons as well. He's one of the few players with a block right now, but still looking towards that. And so still a lot of time left. It's still pretty early in the first as we enter into the second period. So there's still a lot of time left for someone to show up. And we know the Falcons, they play better when they have a little bit of adversity in them right now. So I think we'll see someone stand out more in the second period as we head on through this one.
I'm still looking at Brody Waters. I mean, Brody Waters has 1 shot on goal, or he's got 1 shot today, no shots on goal quite yet. But Brody Waters is a big name. I feel like we've heard a lot, and I think he is more of a second period player. You could even maybe say a third period. But I'm still looking at Brody Waters he has, like, whenever you look at, like, the points for the Falcons, I mean, he's a little bit down there this season. He only has 10 compared to, like, Quinn Emerson, who has 24. But, like, I feel like Brody Waters would be a perfect candidate for this player of the game.
Taking a look at what else is going on around the CCHA this evening, we got Augustana. Did I say it right?
Yeah, I think
Our
so.
character arc for this intermission report is learning how to say
This
that
is this
correctly.
whole
It took me the whole month of December to figure out how to say it.
We're gonna figure it out.
I think Ben Korak is, if he's listening right now and I said it correctly, I've got to imagine he's proud of me in the way Ben Korak would be. Anyways, getting to what's going on around the CCHA besides our pronunciations, Augustana leading Ferris State 3-1 at the end of the first. Over in the third with 15:29 left, we got Michigan Tech up on Minnesota State going into, or just actually about ready to start, Bemidji State taking on St. Thomas. So that's a look at what's going on around the CCHA this evening. Coming up, Gavin will have what's going on around the rest of college hockey tonight. Keep it here. You're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces more feature stories about BGSU athletics than any other media outlet. Make sure to head over to bgfalconmedia.com and follow Falcon Media Sports Network at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with all of our content.
Welcome back to the Falcon Media Sports Network first intermission report. Gavin just ran down what's going on around the CCHA. You got what else is going on around college hockey, but also that Minnesota State, Michigan Tech, a big game.
Yeah, a big game because Minnesota State is ranked, and for the rankings in the CCHA, it is for point system. That is going. I mean, they're currently Michigan Tech's up 3-0 on Minnesota State, so that could really change the rankings in the CCHA. But other games to kind of keep an eye on. The puck drop hasn't happened yet for the future opponent in Notre Dame against Penn State. That's happening in about 7 minutes, but definitely going to be keeping an eye on that game. Excuse me. Michigan is up on Minnesota 1-0. Other ranked opponents, Boston College is currently losing 3-1 to Providence. But those are the other pretty big games that I have been keeping an eye on for in college hockey.
I got some exciting news.
What's that?
We pronounced Augustana right.
Yes, we did it.
That comes from Nathan Burkett. He said Ben, unfortunately, was not listening, so Ben didn't get to hear my accomplishment for the evening.
It's okay. Now you know. Next time he'll have the headset on. He'll be able to hear you. Yeah.
Still, 3-1 Augustana over Ferris State. In the first. That's actually really impressive, I will say.
I mean, my goal this year is to learn the CCHA names and
That's the hardest one.
That's a good goal. Bemidji State, I feel like that's a hard one too.
Bemidji State,
at least initially.
But when you learn it, I feel like it just sticks in your head.
That's how it worked for me.
Yeah, every single time you look at it.
The more you say it, the more you remember it.
You're like, there's a J in there? Oh, yeah, there is a J in there.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry.
It's different than our Around the MAC, but it can be done, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, we'll send things on out to the Slater Family Ice Arena as we get ready for the second period here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BG Women's Basketball wraps up a short homestand at the Stroh Center against the Ohio Bobcats on Wednesday, January 21st at 7 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Gavin Gill, Noah Seeley, and Sam Bork begin the pregame show in the Kulin Center starting at 6:35 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, also streaming on bgfalconmedia.com. Adam Duffin and Dan Ridenauer will call the 7 p.m. tip-off at the Stroh.
And that's going to wrap things up for our first intermission report here on WBGU 88.1 FM. Again, currently the Lake Superior State Lakers, I don't know why I was about ready to say Ferris State, but they're leading Bowling Green 1-0 here at the end of the first period. Again, this report was brought to you by Rick Crow, a longtime BGSU hockey fan and listener of Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM. So yeah, that's going to wrap things up for us. For now, we'll be back with you for the second intermission report. Time now to hand things on back out to Ben Korak and Nathan Burkett over at the Slater Family Ice Arena as we get you ready for the second period. How's it going over there?
Booze in the Slater Family Ice Arena as the refs skate back on the ice. We're going to have some penalties assessed at the start of the second period. A minute 3 of 4-on-3, I believe, and then a little bit of, it'll still be 4-on-3 for the next minute and a half. Actually, tripping call against Connor Milburn, center ice. But Nathan, the Falcons find themselves down 1-0 through that first period. What did you see that led to that Laker goal?
Mostly just on one hand it's a lucky bounce, on the other hand it's a defensive lapse, leaving a guy wide open there in the corner. So a little bit of both. That's kind of what you need if you're a Lake Superior. You need puck luck, but you also need to be able to find ways to force Bowling Green to have those defensive lapses, which they've had a couple throughout the year that have cost the team goals. Going into the second period, though, you have a power play. Mentioned earlier, going into this game, Lake Superior has the worst penalty kill percentage in the CCHA, one of the worst in the NCAA as a whole. So this is a big opportunity to take advantage of that, take advantage of the struggling penalty kill of Lake Superior, and potentially put yourself up a couple goals going into the second intermission. Major loss, though. Never mind, I'm correct. Quinn Emerson back onto the ice as he will be in the penalty box.
Yeah, so odd that him and Juskinis kind of offsetting penalties there. They took for roughing for 2 minutes. There was less than 2 minutes left, so it makes sense that they came off the ice. I just don't know that I've seen that before. I would assume you'd sit in the box until your time is up. It was very awkward, although they did not announce that the players were disqualified, so makes more sense. Juskinis and Emerson back in the box, along with Connor Milburn, who will sit in the box for the next minute and 30 seconds. We'll have some 5-on-4 for 27 seconds. We'll have a minute 3 of 4-on-3 with the Falcons at the start of this period. Rourke Appleby, 15 saves so far, no goals allowed. He's fourth in the CCHA in save percentages. But honestly, with the amount of shots that Lake Superior State's seen, he's maybe one of the better goalies in the CCHA just in his sophomore season. Probably will have his pick of the litter if he wants to leave after this season and go to a bigger school.
And absolutely, but if he chooses to stay with Alex Tracy leaving, he could have his pick for the next 2 years for potentially claiming the CCHA Goaltender of the Year award.
Alex Tracy, last year's Goaltender of the Year, also Player of the Year, was the goaltender for Minnesota State. Higgins gives it back to Sternberg, 4-on-3 for the Falcons right now. Higgins, high slot, gives it up. Dom Ryman, slap shot, and saved into the left side by Appleby. Higgins gives it back to Sternberger, took that rip. Now a slap shot for Higgins into the chest of Appleby. He's able to save it. Just a couple of seconds expired on the power play. There has not been a power play yet for Lake State. The first penalty of the weekend for the Falcons was against Quinn Emerson, but that he went to the box along with Johnny Druskinis. So no power play resulting off of that. Milburn ices it down. Back down behind the goal line. Steinman gives it to his own man, and now Higgins takes it up. Drop pass back. Dom Ryman will go to gain the entry. He does so. Right wing, back up to Higgins. Higgins and Sternberg at the blue line. Sternberg, this pass fanned on. Ulrich into the corner. Grant comes up with the puck, and Ryman will have to reset it for the Falcons. 15 seconds to go on the power play. Ryman gives it back. Higgins slap shot. Cleanup try for Grant. Ryman gets the puck poked away from him on the rebound. Sternberg back up at the blue line. Turned it over. Ulrich to ice it down. Out of the box comes Druskinis and Emerson. Emerson to the bench. Druskinis in the play. Grant tips it ahead. Ty Higgins up. 2-on-2 to Emerson, who did not get a change. Duran down the right wing. His shot blocked by Barone's stick. It's a 5-on-4 now for the Falcons for the next 5 seconds. Emerson up to the blue line. Crampton with the puck. He feeds it in tight. Hodson gives it to Duran. Wrist shot. Save made. Appleby. Down into the right wing corner. Out of the box. And back up to full strength are the Lakers. Their penalty kill stood tall. One of the worst in the CCHA. Back up to the neutral zone. Back into the zone. Hodson Almost picked off by Teleguin. Emerson down behind the goal line. Duran and Emerson back there south of the line to break. Here's Duran against the half wall. He's pinned up by Harrington. Puck cleared away by Draskinis, but not held inside the blue line by Norris. Looked like he had a chance, but the encroaching Ryan Beck forced it away. Rink-aside pass. Martin down behind the goal line again. Sloan away. The white sweater crashes. It's McKinley. McKinley with the puck. He gets it picked off by Lewandowski to clear it. Held in. Lewandowski now does it again. Out to neutral ice. The Falcons will try and force it back in. Long shift for these Lakers currently on the ice. Sloan down. Minville with the puck. Away to Martin and Sloan back up to the blue line. BG's got the short change. Niedermeyer off the bench. Shot in. Cleanup attempt. Minville, Sloan, Martin battling for the puck. Appleby shuts it off. 2 elbows on the ice. Laying on the puck is Rourke Appleby. He keeps it a 1-goal lead for the Lakers.
Saves Minville shot, saves Sloan shot. Pretty sure Martin got a couple of shots in there too.
He has seen nothing but sticks and pucks today. 20 shots on goal already for the Falcons. He's made 21 saves without a goal allowed. 17:21 to go in the second period. 1-goal lead for the Lakers. We'll take a quick step back for station identification.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
Ben Korak alongside Nathan Burkett from the Falcon Media Sports Network. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com and BG_FMSN on Twitter X. Barone puts a hit on. The Falcons take the puck away. Now up the ice. They have some numbers if they play it right, but a shot into the corner by Wynot will get a couple of guys a change. Levis, Foe, and Wynot out as forwards. Stjernberg and Norris back on the blue line. Lewandowski can't clear it. Away to Norris at the blue line. Changes sides to the left side. Fans on his pass. Sweeps it down. Picked off by Wynot as he skates into the corner. Whistle blows. Piku and Stjernberg getting into it. Piku 5'8", Stjernberg 6'4", and they have to be separated by one of the linesmen. And somebody's being pointed off. Stjernberg looks like he's going to be sent up to the box. Looks like a Falcon might be down in the corner as well. Stjernberg, a retaliation possibly to Piku. Doesn't look like he's going to the sin bin, but it looks like Stjernberg is for the retaliation. And Fisher still attending to the down Falcon in the corner, and because it's tight against the boards, can't see the number. We'll see it here. That was Wynot in the corner. He's pressed up with Barone. Whistle's blown dead. Oh, they didn't show it on the replay there. Stjernberg's really getting into it. Assuming Piku the guilty party on the down Falcon in the corner. Stjernberg and Foe tending as well. Looks like Dalton Norris, the captain, who's being helped up from the ice.
He took a mighty check on that play.
By his defensive partner, Gustav Stjernberg. I was wondering at the back half where Norris was, but I just assumed he got a change just a couple of steps away from the bench. Norris doesn't look like he's going to the bench. It looks like he's being carried off the ice.
He is headed to the locker room.
So the Falcons out one of their defensemen. They do have Richard Simonovic, the extra skater, but you're missing.
He landed very awkwardly on his legs there.
Fisher and Stjernberg still helping him off the ice. Fisher will probably have to help him back to the dressing room. Steinman gives his captain a tap. And the Falcons are without their head man. Stjernberg will skate off from helping Norris off the ice and will go directly to the box. Unsportsmanlike conduct only against Stjernberg. And there you hear the reaction.
Livid.
First power play of the weekend upcoming for Lake State.
The fans here are livid. They want a penalty for that hit on Norris. Although I will say, based on the replay, it didn't look like it was a dirty hit. It just Norris lost his footing in an awkward angle, so when he went down, he landed very awkwardly on his legs, and it did not look good at all.
First penalty kill of the weekend for the Falcons. That unit run by associate head coach Curtis Carr, also helped out by Matt Nicholson, the coach that mans the defenseman. There in his own end, McKinley gets some separation, and it's cleared down by the Falcons. So their captain off the ice, and you would imagine you'd be playing with more of a chip on your shoulder than you had. They're down a goal, 1-0. Wilson Dahlheimer in the first period, assisted by Galloway and Druskinis. And now the Lakers trying to convert on their first power play of the weekend. Barone down the right wing scored a goal yesterday. Shot into the chest of Steinman, doesn't hold on to it, but he's able to make the save, and better off for the Falcons as they are able to clear it down and waste more time. $1:20 to go in the second period. Under 16 to go. Down out to the blue line. Barone to the right side. Mangoni gives it back. Barone up to the left wing side. Beck down to the goal line. Played by Ulrich. Back behind the goal line is poked away by a Falcon defenseman. On the left wing side, Ramos to ice it around. Simonovic can't clear it. It's into the right wing corner. Ryan Beck collapses in from the blue line. Back in the right wing corner, still a battle for the puck possession. The Falcons with 4, the Lakers with 5. The puck caroms high in the air, off of the short ceiling here. 36 seconds to go in the second period. Or 36 seconds to go in the man advantage, and 15 minutes to go in the second period.
I'm sure many of the players on the BG bench still very concerned for their captain and that scary injury he took.
Back out to the blue line, face-off win for the Lakers. Bushy down to the right wing side in the corner, played by Teleguin. Teleguin, a big power play goal scorer, one of the leaders in the CCHA last season. Big goal scorer there as well, although he's been quiet this year. Falcons able to ice it out through center. Grant got a tip and now will go on the forecheck against Bushy. 15 seconds to go in the power play for the Lakers, their first of the weekend. Piku up past his own blue line, out to center. They sit out to the right wing, John Harrington. He's poked away. The Falcons clear it again. That'll do it for the penalty on Stjernberg, defending Dalton Norris against Brandon Piku, who took Norris to the dressing room, and something that we are assuming with his knee is he is most likely not going to be back in the game today. Up to the blue line. Mike Brown. Puck up down the left wing. Penalty upcoming. Bowling Green still with the puck. Waters pulled down to the ice. Crampton into the corner. A touch from the Lakers. And the Lakers, after not scoring on their power play, they're going to go on a penalty kill. Penalties didn't play a factor at all yesterday, and they're playing a huge factor today. The Falcons 0 for 2 on 2 power play opportunities, and the alternate captain, Mike Brown, going to go off.
Interference against Brody Waters will send, that is Mike Brown to the box. We mentioned Lake Superior's struggled this year on the penalty kill. So far this weekend, they've killed off 3 power plays, which means statistically this will be the time for Bowling Green to strike.
Down behind the goal line, Bushy to try and clear it. Hodson pins up the puck. Druskinis in there to clear it, and it's held inside the blue line by McKinley. To Stjernberg, slap shot on the doorstep, not cleared away, held inside the blue line, but away from danger. Duran with the puck, down to the goal line. Gives it away to Waters. Waters circles. Back to Duran. Waters through the slot. And now Duran still with the puck. Down to Waters. He carries it into the slot. Icing attempt by Ulrich. He gets it down to the other end of the ice. Guess who's a staple on the power play for the Falcons? Dalton Norris normally gets the second shift, and he is no longer on the ice, no longer on the bench. Probably not going to play in this game. Puck pinned up. Waters didn't know Hodson was offsides, and the faceoff is going to come out to center with 1:18 to go in the man advantage.
Norris is one of those glue guys for the Falcons where he seems to have he seems to be out there in almost every situation, where it be 5-on-5, penalty kill, power play, overtime. So a major piece missing for the Falcons.
An alternate captain last year and given the C this year. Tripped up and no penalty. Emerson was trying to gain the entry and he was knocked down to the ice with a stick. So maybe something could have been called there, but still on the power play of the Falcons for the next 60 seconds. Higgins drop pass. Given up to Ryman. Ryman down the left wing, stick handling. Grant back to Ryman and now out to the left wing side and Higgins at the blue line. Higgins gives it back to his partner. Higgins slap shot in. Emerson had a try, but it's carried into the corner by the Lakers. Ice down to hold inside the blue line. Nice play, Higgins, to hold it in. Emerson behind the goal line. Bushy with him. Ryman to the left wing. And Connor Milburn clears. 30 seconds to go. Time for one more drive. Have the Falcons. Crampton, McKinley, Hodson, Duran, and Waters. A main power play unit for the Falcons that's seen different iterations, but a lot of success this year. Back up to the blue line. Turned over to Harrington. Ulrich down the left wing with Harrington with him. An offensive try. Bushy. And he shoots it into Steinman with a nice save. 5 seconds to go in the power play. Lakers have had the best chance of this penalty kill for them. Give it up to Bushy as he streaks in. The defenseman couldn't pick him up, and Steinman keeps it at just a one-goal game. Still led by the Lakers. Five seconds to go in the power play, so all but over before Mike Brown comes out of the box, makes it even strength again. We have not yet reached halfway in the second frame. Although the Falcons leading shots on goal 23-11, they're trailing 1-0. Pass to the slot, Minville with his stick in the passing lane. Goes into the corner and away for the Falcons. Up the ice down the right wing, Max Martin with Jake Sloan. Gives it to Minville. Minville slot. Minville working in. He gets the puck poked. Held inside the blue line by Max Martin. Carried down behind the goal line for Minville. Looking to pass it out. Max Martin in the slot, won't get to him. Deflected down around the goal. Martin will get there first on the left wing side. Down into the corner again. Max Martin up to the blue line. Simonovic holds it in. D-to-D pass. Bank pass down and in deeper for the Falcons to play. Max Martin wraps it down, just squeaks wide of Appleby. In the corner, Barone. Minville ferociously digs for the puck. Fellow freshman Jake Sloan in there as well. Crampton with the puck, another freshman. Back up to the blue line, Foe. Brett Foe with the puck, a goal yesterday. Wrist shot into Appleby. Cleanup attempt for Levis. Cleared away by the Lakers. Up at center ice, Crampton holds on. His pass long for Foe. And now up the right wing comes Caleb Mangoni. Pass to the slot. Crampton well placed. Lewandowski pushes him into the boards, but the puck away out to center. Mangoni with a man offsides. It's called offsides. Lewandowski couldn't get past the blue line in time. 10:52 to go in the second.
Despite the 1-0 deficit for the Orange and Brown, they have been creating so many good scoring opportunities. They're currently out shooting Lake Superior 24-11 on the game, and so far through the second period, they're out shooting the Lakers 9-2.
31-19, the shot on goal ratio from BG to Lake State. And they're encroaching on that here in the second period. We're not even halfway through, and the Falcons on pace for 48 shots in this game. And the Lakers on pace for only 22. BG still trailing by a goal. Felt like they had more in the tank offensively yesterday. Didn't get exactly to the right areas that head coach Dennis Williams likes to get to, and that right in front of the crease. And trying still to get to that part of the ice more today. And yet to have a goal, so the success can only be measured that way. Dahlheimer falls, turns the puck over. Ben Duran with a pass, held inside the blue line after the deflection by Emerson. Down deep for Hodson. Turned over to Antonacci to clear it, held in by Duran. Deep into the left wing boards. Dahlheimer to clear. Higgins keeps it in. Hodson behind the goal line. Emerson in there as well to give it to Hodson. Is intercepted. Antonacci to Tyson Galloway, assisted on the only goal scored today by Dahlheimer. To Hodson, back to Duran, picked off by Dahlheimer. He gets it out to Caleb Mangoni, the freshman through center. 18 points this season, 9 goals, 9 assists, with the goal scored yesterday off of his initial pass. Out to center ice, Stjernberg to the right wing side. Waters gives it up. Down the left wing, Ryman feeds it in and off of a stick and bounces wide of Appleby in the net for the Lakers. 24 saves Appleby has made and has yet to allow one past his goal line. Turned over to Ryman. Ryman centers it. Wrist shot, Grant, and it's sent wide. Regan Milburn now held inside the blue line by Simonovic. His shot off the stick into the net on a block. 9:30 to go in the second period. Still a 1-0 lead for the Lakers off of Wilson Dahlheimer's goal. This timeout brought to you by Juniper Brewing Company, located at 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green. Proud creators of the Ale Ziggy Zumba that is sold here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, the Stroh Center, the Deutsch L. Perry Stadium, and also at 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green. Visit juniperbrew.com for Juniper Brewing Company details. You're listening to Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU Gymnastics hits the road for the first time this season to take on the Ball State Cardinals in Muncie, Indiana, on Sunday, January 18th in Maxham. Falcon Media Sports Network's Noah Seeley will have the recap of the meet on bgfalconmedia.com.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark, and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Ben Korak and the Falcon Media Sports Network crew covering the Falcon hockey team throughout the season.
Back here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, 1-goal lead for Lake State, and the biggest loss so far today is the loss of defenseman Dalton Norris, who came off the ice, we're assuming, with a tendon-related knee injury, but that is all conjecture right now. We have no clue. But he did topple in the corner, landed awkwardly on his leg, and he was helped off the ice, not even making a skating stride, by Dan Fisher and Gustav Stjernberg. So the Falcons down one, down a defenseman as well. Simonovic, luckily, the extra skater, so they have 2 full pairings, but are out a player and their captain, a very good scorer, and a very solid blue liner all around. Back into their own zone, played by the Falcons up to center ice. Quinn Emerson down the left wing. Emerson with the puck, looks to backhand it. He's knocked down to the ice and carried outside of their own blue line. Teleguin for the Lakers. Duran circles it to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer up, Waters ahead. Druskinis will get there first. Waters encroaching, takes Druskinis into the boards. Bushy gathers instead up to the blue line. Skated out, and again the Falcons with possession. This is what we saw a lot of yesterday, is the Lakers just trying to get the puck out of their own end and away from danger and not being able to even get possession in the offensive zone because they have to go for a change. The Falcons hold it too long. Ryman tips it ahead. BG in. Grant for the puck. It's knocked away from him. Ryman with it at the blue line. Holds it in. Down the left wing, Ryman spins it back around. Good move. Open ice. Down the left wing comes Dom Ryman. Gives it up. Back up. Higgins, high slot. He takes it down the right wing. Higgins works in. Appleby up in the air. It's dropped down in front of Rourke. Appleby, he still sees it. Puck still live and kept away. Higgins with the puck south of the goal line. Grant and Waters back there as well. Open ice for the Lakers, and they're going to be able to skate it out. A big flurry there in front of Rourke Appleby, and he continues to stand tall. Wrist shot there into Emerson by Mike Brown. Into Steinman by Mike Brown, and he's able to hold it off. I believe Emerson on the defense there. Still stays a 1-score game.
Shots are now up to 25-13 in favor of the Falcons. Still looking for their first goal of the game.
Back in their own zone, face off to the right of Steinman. Steinman's made 12 saves, 1 goal allowed. The Falcons haven't had a 20-save game in about 4 games, and that was Cole Moore against Ohio State. Martin to Sloan behind the goal line with speed. Back up to the blue line. Ryan Beck tips it ahead. Gets his stick a bit high on Simonovic, but to the back. We're going to get an offsides, it looks like. And the puck will come back out to center ice for a drop. 17:25 to go in the second period. Ryan Beck now getting into it with the Falcons. It's been very tight all weekend. We're now 4.5 periods in to this series. And a very tense game yesterday, boiling over into today, and we've seen a couple of scrums, an injured player, 2 roughing penalties, and a misconduct penalty to Stjernberg. We've seen a lot of extracurriculars today. Down to Steinman. Steinman plays it away to Niedermeyer's defenseman. Niedermeyer nearly turns it over to Connor Milburn on a big forecheck in the O-zone. Brett Foe gets the puck poked away from him. Down back into the Lake State end. That a rise you heard from the crowd was Crampton and Beck getting into it behind the play, and icing against the Lakers will not get them a change that was needed. 7 minutes exactly to go in the second period. Braden Crampton's last goal scored was his first goal scored, a game winner in the second game against Lake Superior State. 6 shots in that game. And he scored a game winner in that second game. That was a 3-2 win for the Falcons in Sault Ste. Marie. The Falcons are 3-0 against the Lakers this season and looking to make it 4 today. Pass across the slot, Hodson well placed. This puck held inside the blue line. Stjernberg the shot in wide right. Nobody there to deflect it. McKinley, he circles it to the blue line again. Defended by 2 high Lakers. It's turned over between the legs, iced into the short ceiling, but that was from the Laker end, so the faceoff's going to come back into the O-zone for the Falcons, although the Lakers can get a change.
Faceoff to the left side of Appleby, who has really kept his team in these games last couple of games. Tonight only letting up, tonight let's let in a goal. Last night only letting up 2.
He's played all of the last 4 series coming into this weekend. There's a shot in. It's in tight with Hodson. High slot Duran. His shot in gets deflected. Appleby didn't have sight of it, but it bounced wide of him luckily. Driskinnis up to center ice. The Falcons will have to reset. All of the last 4 series Appleby has played, and Lake State is 4-4 during that time. 2 one-score losses to high-quality teams and a sweep of Northern Michigan. Drop down, doorstep, cleanup attempt. Hodson off the side of the rack. Hodson clears it into the slot again. Puck still in between the circles. Not held inside the blue line. Hudak able to skate it out. The Falcons get back first. They're in their own end, under 6 to go in the second period. Now the Falcons up ahead. They got a 5-on-4 for a second. But off the bench comes Teleguin in place of Hudak, who was very late to get into the play and off of his behind. Teleguin gets spun by Stjernberg, turns the puck over. Stjernberg with the entry. Ahead down the right wing. Stjernberg shot in. No touch by Appleby. Karam's out to the blue line. Simonovic to Waters. Waters wrist shot. Cleanup try on the rebound by Ryman. And Appleby shuts it off in his crease. More shots on goal for the Falcons. More in-tight opportunities, and still nothing that has gone through the goal line and the net of Rourke Appleby. I mean, you imagine at some point these have to go through.
At a certain point.
They've gone to the front of him so much this weekend, but especially today, 26 shots and none. I mean, we're getting to the point now that it's more likely that they go in than they don't. Odds-wise, 26 shots on goal, doubling up Lake Superior State's 13, and Lake State's got the only goal. That was Wilson Dahlheimer on a Weird pass that went off the half wall, perfectly placed to Dahlheimer, uncovered on the right side, and the slap shot beat Steinman, who couldn't go post to post quick enough. Teleguin in the corner, Dom Ryman in there. He forces the puck free, but to Mike Brown, defenseman and alternate captain for the Lakers. This one ahead to Teleguin down the left wing. Ryman to get back. Good poke check there by Dom Ryman to stifle the play. He lost his glove, but it's whistled dead anyway. Steinman covers up the puck. Sasha Teleguin looking for his first point in the last 5 games. He's gone scoreless in the last 5, has 1 assist in the last 11 games played. And he doesn't have a goal since November 14th. That was against Minnesota State. He had 14 goals scored last season for a left winger that's only scored 3 this year and none since November 14th. He's also got a cold spell. Only 6 points for one of the leaders in points last year in the CCHA. Tipped ahead by Lewandowski. There's Crampton to gather it for the orange and brown. The freshman D-man gives it ahead. Puck stopped inside the blue line. The Falcons on sides. Martin tips it ahead. He's tripped down to the ice. Adam Barone takes it up the right wing. Pass, a lazy pass, turned over in center. Bellinger gets it away as he tips at Jake Sloan. Sloan chases the puck into the right wing corner. Turned over on the Falcon slot by the Lakers to Jeremy Minville. He's toppled down to the ice, takes a header into the boards, but he's up and skating again. It was a slow header into the boards. Ryan back down the right wing. He's got the puck still. High slot shot in towards Steinman. A move made by Connor Milburn. On his left side is Steinman, and he's able to shut it off. A nice save by the freshman. 1-0 Lake State as Steinman stands tall. He was laying on his left side, ready for the Lake State forwards to tuck him into bed, and he's able to stay awake for just a little bit longer. Connor Milburn in for the draw in the Falcon end of the ice. 4 minutes to go in the second period. McKinley, his pass intended for Foe, just a bit long for Brett Foe. Lakers have to get back on sides. The Falcons with their puck. Big forechecks coming today from the Lakers. They brought 2 guys on that. Consistently have 4 guys in the O-zone to keep the puck there. Really trying to keep the puck out of their own end where it lived yesterday. Brandon Wynot out to center ice. Foe on the forecheck, along with Wynot. Wynot goes for a check against Antonacci, takes him out of the play. Regan Milburn through center. It's poked away, well defended by Ty Higgins. Niedermeyer, lead pass up. Emerson is going to get there first, but it's waved off as an icing. Emerson really not happy with that icing call. He's still talking to the referee about it. He was going to get there first, and it was waved off anyway to avoid any contact if there was. 3:15 to go. Face off in the Bowling Green end. Still a 1-0 lead for Lake State. It's a stalemate here in the second period. No scores since the first 3 minutes of the game. 3 minutes, 2 seconds into the game. Wilson Dahlheimer's goal, and no goals since. We didn't have a goal from the first minute of yesterday's game to the 11th minute of the second period when Adam Barone scored his goal for Lake State to tie it up at 1. That was quite a large chunk of time as well. Emerson, the first goal within that first minute. Hodson ahead. The Falcons go in to try and put together some offense. Late goings of the second period in the final 3 minutes. Hudak with the puck. He skates it out. Turned over in center ice. Nice play. Hodson to knock it down out of the air. He plays it away off the half wall and turns it back over to the Lakers. Regan Milburn fires it in. Milburn, the brother of Connor Milburn. 35 less games played, 18 less goals, 23 less assists than his brother in his first 3 years played. This is his 3rd year. Connor Milburn in his 4th and final season as a senior. Duran in his own zone, away to Waters. Waters pushes it ahead. Now Lake State's starting to dominate play as they're keeping the puck in neutral and the favored side of the ice. Caleb Mangoni down the right wing, up to the right side. Barone pass into the slot, intended, but not landing to Mangoni. Mangoni the puck again at the blue line. He takes steps in, given up to Mike Brown. Off the glass, up high in the air, gloved and dropped by Mangoni as he's taken into the boards. Down behind the goal line, back up to the blue line, separation for Barone. To the left wing side, back to Barone. In center, slap shot coming from Ulrich, and it won't get to the net. Again into Steinman, and a block made by Brody Waters in tight. Another shot in, the Falcons with the puck. Simonovic off the half wall, and the tired Falcons will skate to the bench. Hodson, Duran out there for about a 2-minute shift. 1:20 to go in the second period. Steinman plays it away to Simonovic on the right side. Got to get the defenseman to change too. Emerson up. And the Lake State side of the center line, so no icing there. Dom Ryman off the bench into the play. The Falcons in the O-zone now. Here's Niedermeyer, left wing side. Dropped in. Ryman and Grant got too tight to each other, and the puck caroms away from both. In center, less than a minute to go. Nice move. Ramos, his shot, save made. Steinman. Breakaway by Ramos. He's not happy he couldn't bury it. But the freshman goaltender, since that goal allowed in the first 3 minutes, has been fantastic. Just a nice move.
That's a goal for Ramos. If that had gone in, that's one you put on your highlight reel. Unfortunately, Steinman stops it, prevents the opportunity from going on to the CCHA top 10 plays of the week.
Opened that right arm enough so there was a hole, and then shut it down as soon as Ramos, with that nice release, ripped a very strong shot. Milburn wins the draw, back up to the blue line. Faceoffs being won quite a large number by the Falcons. 21 faceoffs won to 14 for Bowling Green against Lake State. 35 seconds to go in the second period. Still a 1-goal lead for Lake State. That goal, Wilson Dahlheimer in that first period. Max Martin to the slot. Higgins streaking, but he had his back turned to the puck. Now stretch pass up to Piku won't land, and an icing against the Lakers, so that's a bad break. 20 seconds to go in the second. Falcons will get a change that they want. Lakers will not get the change that they want, and an offensive zone drop for BG. So must-win draw for Jaden Grant today. 14-7 yesterday, 9-4 today in draws. He wins it to Emerson. Emerson, a shot in. The rebound chance carried into the corner. Off the half wall, high in the air from Milburn. Not held inside the blue line. BG's offsides. Lakers force it up. Out turned over to Ty Higgins. 5 seconds to go. Puck center ice. Antonacci takes it into the O zone. He's tripped up as he goes to the corner, and a penalty is going to be upcoming to the Falcons. As time is expiring, Antonacci possibly need contact there from the Falcon into the defenseman as he went down the left side. Time expired in the second period. 40 minutes of action, 1 goal, and that's to the Lakers. And we'll stay with you until we see who the penalty is going to be given to. Not a great period in the first. A fine one in the second. Falcons lead 26-18 in shots on goal, but trailing by 1 in the goal department. 2 minutes for tripping. The man that drew the call for Lake State was Antonacci. They'll talk about it in the Marta Crow second intermission report. Nate, Gavin, and Artie coming up from the Cooling Center studios. You're listening to Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Media Sports Network writes and publishes over 1,000 stories per year, including game previews, recaps, sidebars, opinion pieces, feature stories, and more. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to view all of our content for every sport throughout the year.
Millions of people all over the world go hungry, while we waste our land and water resources. Did you know that raising animals for human consumption uses 8 times as much water as growing fruits, vegetables, and grains? And that the same amount of land can produce 17 times more soybean protein than meat protein? For great vegetarian recipes, write People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. That's PETA, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510. Thanks.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
The NCAA Division I Cabinet has announced new transfer portal windows for the men's and women's college basketball teams. The transfer portal for both sports will open 15 days after their respective national championship games. The women's portal will be open from April 6th through April 20th, while the men's portal will run from April 7th through April 21st. Additionally, when a coaching change occurs, a 15-day transfer portal window will open 5 days after the new coach is hired or publicly announced. To go along with the changes to the off-season transfer portal, any mid-season transfer will no longer be eligible to play in the second half of the season. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
Welcome into our Falcon Media Sports Network second intermission report here on WBGU 88.1 FM. The second intermission report is brought to you in memory of Marta Crow, Falcon hockey fanatic and avid Falcon hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM listener. So wrapping up the second period, very similar to how we wrapped up the first. Yeah. Falcons still trailing the Lake Superior State Lakers 1-0. And Artie and Gavin, what really happened in this second period that, kind of a uneventful, at least scoring-wise, second period?
Well, it was kind of more of the same as the first period. Falcons just can't really get anything in the back of the net. They're attempting. They've had 26 shots on goal, 51 total shots. They're 0 for 3 on power plays. But they have done a good job of, not allowing another goal. So not going down deeper into that hole. They haven't gone down 2-0. So they're still staying in it. It's just a matter of, applying the pressure and getting something in that third period. But they just did not have a successful second period of play.
Also, with Dalton Norris being out on injury, we don't know what exactly happened to him, but he's played all 21 games so far. He's had 12 points so far this season and 44 shots. So we're going to see how missing him in the third period is really going to affect this team. Like you said, they had 26 shots on goal compared to Lakers 18. So they're trying. They're trying to get to the net, and they're being a lot more aggressive than the Lakers. But nothing's just getting in for the boys.
11 shots on goal in that second period. They won 11 faceoffs as well, and they had 4 penalty minutes. So it's just a matter of they're getting there. It's just not happening so far.
Yeah, they
really haven't been able to get anything going.
They need to finish as soon as they get into a position of scoring. I feel like they need to just swarm the net and all attack it. And just try to get something in to get this into overtime or possibly win with 2 scores this upcoming period.
Yeah, all right. Coming up, we'll talk more about what we're expecting for the third period. We'll also have our Falcon Media Sports Network Player of the Game watch. Take a look at what else is going on around the CCHA, update you on those scores, as well as a few other big matches going on in college hockey. That's next on the Falcon Media Sports Network second intermission report on WBGU 88.1 FM.
There's so much more WBGU content available online through our social media profiles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to our feeds to get the most up-to-date information about the program schedule, show hosts, and upcoming promotional events. Return to Radio Freedom with WBGU on 88.1 FM, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Here's that song again. Here's that song again. For the 100th time today. Here's that song again. It's gonna be stuck in your head all day. Here's that song again. It will make you cray cray.
You love your kids enough to watch that TV show a bajillion times. Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat for their age and size. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Imagine home. The smell of coffee, the sound of a lawnmower, the sun's warmth on your face. Free to be yourself, surrounded by love that helps you grow. This is a place to call home. That's an American dream we all deserve. But in 50% of U.S. states, you could legally be denied housing if you are LGBTQ+. Get the facts and hear real stories at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
What?
Welcome back to the Falcon Media Sports Network's second intermission report, brought to you in memory of Marta Crow, Falcon hockey fanatic and avid Falcon hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM listener. Artie and Kevin.
What's up?
All right, so going into this third period, Falcons down 1-0 to the Lake Superior State Lakers. How we looking from both teams going into this third? What can really the Lakers do to keep their score ahead of the Falcons, and what can the Falcons do in an attempt to maybe turn this match around?
Well, I think the Lakers are doing a good job of playing in front. Mm-hmm. They're not allowing BG to really capitalize or gain any momentum, so they're doing a good job in that regard. But at the same time, they only have one goal. So you're not really ahead by that much, especially heading into the third period, where we know BG is super successful. I mean, last game out, they scored in the first 30 seconds of the third period and got up to a 2-1 lead. So that can still is very much in play of happening. There's still a lot of time left to play on the ice. So there's still a lot of opportunities to be had. So it isn't really over yet.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with that. But the Lakers could literally just keep the puck away from the Falcons this entire period. We've seen it before in other hockey matches where they just play super good defense the entire time and just keep it away from the opposing team. But like you said, they need to come out in this third period, I would say hyper aggressive almost, and to score within the first 5 minutes, and then just try to find another way to get into the net at the back half of the period.
I mean, you're gonna have to be pretty aggressive here. I mean, you have to, if you get another penalty situation where you're on the power play, you have to actually take advantage of those. I mean, you're 0 for 3 so far on the power play attempts that you've had. Your captain just went down, so you just gotta play through that, and you just gotta find some way to win. Granted, 15 more minutes, you just gotta somehow, either get a goal early, get a goal late, maybe get 2, or send this one to OT. There's still a lot of opportunities and paths that this game could go.
And the Falcons are really good in the power play. I mean, but we just haven't seen that a lot in this game yet. Whenever they are, I don't know what the exact stat is because the computer won't load. But in the power play, every single time I've seen them in the power play, I've heard them in the power play. They've been aggressive and they've been able to score on it the last couple games. So we're not seeing that much in this game against the Lakers, but you wanna take advantage of those shots whenever you can.
All right, coming up, we will have our Falcon Media Sports Network. We'll have our Player of the Game watch discussion. We'll also check on what's going on around the CCHA and college football this evening. Keep it here. You're listening to WBGU 88.1 FM.
Ever heard of Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcast on Falcon Radio or WBGU 88.1 FM but don't know where to listen? Well, set down the radio, pick up your phone, and go to bgfalconmedia.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to stream Falcon Radio and WBGU 88.1 FM for all broadcasts. On September 17, 2025, BGSU volleyball swept the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, marking head coach Alex Del Piombo's first home win, leading the Falcons. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak had the call of the moment at the Stroh Center.
Anders to Otten to Hobson. Hobson throws it down. A 3-set sweep for Bowling Green in the 2025 home opener, and the first home win for head coach Alex Del Piombo.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Welcome back to the Falcon Media Sports Network second intermission report. Currently, Lake Superior State Lakers up on the Bowling Green Falcons 1-0 at the end of the second period in this evening's hockey matchup. Now, get into our Falcon Media Sports Network Player of the Game watch discussion. Artie and Gavin, some players you guys are continuing to watch, especially after that. I mean, it was kind of a not super interesting second period, but some players you're continuing to watch from that as we get into the third period and get ready to name our player of the game.
I personally am. I'll keep an eye on Brody Waters because I've been kind of chirping his name a little bit more, but I want to. I want to keep an eye on Quinn Emerson a little bit more because of him coming back into the game.
I would like to keep an eye on Jaden Grant. I mean, he's won 10 face-offs today so far. I mean, that's not a ton, it's not going to result in goals necessarily, but I think that's something to still look out for as we head on through this one.
Taking a quick look at what's going on around the CCHA, Augustana and Ferris State currently tied up 3-3 at the end of the second period. We have Bemidji State up on St. Thomas 1-0. That one also at the end of the second. And then to go in final, we have the Michigan Tech Huskies they beat the Minnesota State Mavericks 4-1 this evening. And that's look at what's going on around the CCHA. Let's take one more quick break right now, and we'll send things on back out to the Slater Family Ice Arena for more Falcon hockey coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BG Women's Basketball wraps up a short homestand at the Stroh Center against the Ohio Bobcats on Wednesday, January 21st at 7 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Gavin Gill, Noah Seeley, and Sam Bork begin the pregame show in the Coolene Center starting at 6:35 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, also streaming on bgfalconmedia.com. Adam Duffin and Dan Ridenauer will call the 7 p.m. tip-off at the Stroh.
Wrapping things up for our Falcon Media Sports Network second intermission report here on WBGU 88.1 FM. Artie, Gavin, and I will be back, at least physically, for the post-match show coming up after this third period. Right now, though, time to hand things on back out to Ben Korak and Nathan Burkett over at the Slater Family Ice Arena as the third period just about to get underway. How's it going out there?
Yeah, a little bit somber considering the apparent injury to Dalton Norris, as was mentioned a couple of times. Number 14, the captain for the Falcons, went down in the corner. We're assuming something with his knee as it was twisted out from under him. The Falcons down one, also down one of their better defensemen, and again, a four-year player for the Falcons and a captain. Nathan, that's a huge loss for the Falcons going forward the rest of the season, but today as well. That's a scoring defenseman, that's a defending defenseman, all around a great leader on this team that you're probably going to be absent for at least tonight and probably pretty long-term going forward.
Yeah, he's involved with basically anything, whether it be 5-on-5, being on the offensive side, defensive side, penalty kill, power play, you name it, he's a part of it in some way. So to lose him, it's going to be a major loss for this game, and I know BG is hoping that they can have him back sooner rather than later, but this could potentially be not a season ender, which would be really scary. So definitely would hope not for that.
26 shots on goal for the Falcons, all of them stopped by the goaltender for Lake State, Rourke Appleby. He has been a stud in net today. Jacob Steinman, no slouch on the other end either for the Falcons. 1 goal allowed, 17 saves for the freshman against the sophomore Appleby. The Falcons were penalized before the end of the second period. Breck McKinley took the box 2 minutes for tripping, and they'll be on a penalty kill to start this third period. Not where you want to start if you're Bowling Green, trailing by a goal, and you need a big period, this third period, to be able to come back and take 3 much-needed points toward the CCHA. Down on the right wing side, puck still pressed up into the Lake State end of the ice. Quinn Emerson down behind the goal line, pestering Adam Barone, and the defenseman finally takes the puck away. Quinn Emerson still hammering him as he comes up the ice. Barone loses the puck a second. Quick shot into the chest of Steinman. That's a useful entry and shot there from Barone. He's going to get an O-zone face-off for the anchor wearing blue and gold.
I believe this is the first power play opportunity for Lake Superior this series. Scored twice in the previous series between these two teams back in October on the power play. 2 of their 3 goals over the weekend were power play opportunities.
Puck not held inside the blue line by the Lakers. Also the first penalty this weekend on a legitimate gameplay infraction for the Falcons. Quinn Emerson, Gustav Stjernberg also penalized today, but Stjernberg for roughing after for misconduct, and Quinn Emerson for roughing after the whistle. That did not result in a power play. Driskinnis went with him. Out to the blue line. Barone down to Hunter Ramos. Back to Barone at the blue line. Open ice on the right side for Ryan Beck. He gives it back to the defenseman, Barone. Barone leaves back for Beck. Beck gives it to Ramos. Ramos skates in. Wrist shot save made. Steinman caroms up into the netting. The whistle blows with 52 seconds to go on the man advantage. A nice shot there from the left side. That doesn't end up falling through. Ramos again has been one of the best skaters on the ice for the Lakers so far this weekend, Nathan.
Yeah, he's had a couple of really good opportunities that Steinman and the Bowling Green defense have done a good job so far of keeping him off the score sheet, but if he keeps creating opportunities like that, it'll be sooner rather than later that he finds his way onto it.
Maybe the best non-point scoring player for the Lakers this weekend. He's got 10 points on the season on 5 goals, 5 assists, playing on the 4th line. An impressive scoring number there. He's been the bottom 2 lines most of the season, although he's still found production. Harrington a shot, long rebound from Steinman, away from danger, right to a Falcon tape, and it's iced down for Bowling Green. Under 30 to go in the man advantage. The Falcons have killed off 2 penalties so far, looking for their 3rd now against the Lakers. Here's Why Not down the right wing. He's tripped down to the ice. No penalty coming as the stick maybe got a bit low there on Brandon Why Not, the freshman. Behind the goal line, up to the right wing. Connor Milburn. He goes off the half wall. An intended pass to himself, but won't land. Harrington, his stick being held onto by the Falcon. It's cleared down again by the Falcons. Out of the box comes Breck McKinley. He skates to the bench. 2 defensemen on for the Falcons and a successful penalty kill. Their 3rd of the weekend and 3rd today. Up to the blue line, Mike Brown shot. And a penalty upcoming, slashing against the Lakers. This is back-to-back penalty kills that within seconds of the kill, they've taken a penalty and put the Falcons on the power play. Hudak to the box for 2.
Bowling Green goes back onto the power play. Yet to score a power play goal so far this weekend. They've had 4 of them.
Jaden Grant in for the dot. 5 for the Falcons, 4 for the Lakers. These power plays are getting to a must-score opportunity. They have a good power play and are 0 for 4 today, 0 for 1 yesterday. That's 0 for 5. And while it's been mildly streaky, it's been good against certain teams, bad against certain teams. I believe the Falcons' 24% is encroaching on the time where more likely they score than they're not. Falcons skated over to the bench, took a meeting. The referees were not understanding why that was happening.
Williams is explaining something.
Yeah, Willie's explaining something that was going on in the corner. Maybe bringing out a shovel or a scraper or something to tend to the ice. Only thing I could imagine it being. Yeah, they're bringing out a shovel. They're going to come through the gate on the east side of the building here next to Jacob Steinman to tend to the ice real quick before this power play. Again, the Falcons 0 for 4 on their power plays today. This will be their 5th opportunity today. Falcons still leading in shots on goal, though it got a little bit tighter during that penalty that Breck McKinley took to start this third period. We're at 17:45 to go in the third. Lake State only trailing in shots on goal by 5, although trailing in total shots by over 20. 23 to be exact. So the Falcon pressure has been on, and they have yet to break the plane. Needless to say, Nathan, it'll be an eruption in this building when and if the Falcons are finally able to get a goal.
Warwick Appleby this year is yet to record a blank out, but last year recorded 2 of them. Has had a very strong year so far this year without having one.
His last 2 games played before this series was against Northern Michigan. He allowed 1 goal both nights, both of them 2-1 wins for Lake State over Northern Michigan. That was a hard-fought series that the Lakers played, and they ended up taking a sweep, their first in a while. They had 2 games against high-quality opponents the weeks before that, following the splits that they had through the end of 2025. At the very end of 2025, Wisconsin, they lost by 1 goal. That's a number 2 team in the country at the time. And Boston College, they lost by a goal in Milwaukee during the Quick Trip Holiday Faceoff. Before that, split with St. Thomas, split with Augustana, and a split with Ferris State. And 5 in their 10 before this weekend. They lost yesterday to the Falcons and looking to take their first win against Bowling Green this season. Ice tended to, the gate closed, and the Falcons and Lakers are ready to drop puck again. The orange and brown in the offensive zone by Appleby, looking for their first goal of the game. Have not scored even strength since a minute 27 into the third period yesterday. That was Brett Foe's goal in the corner. Here's Braden Crampton. Ryman down behind the goal. Back to Ryman. It's intercepted and fed out. William Ulrich over to the bench for the change. Damon Witten calling for a couple more guys to change, but didn't get him in time. They were staying on the ice in favor of defense. Crampton down the right wing side with Emerson. Crampton to the slot, deflected up and away. There was 1 defenseman on the blue line, and he was on the same side as the puck. And carry him to the other side. Higgins leaves it back. Ryman to gain the entry. He's got it. Leaves it back for Higgins now to spread the puck out. He got it on the left wing. Higgins still with it. The freshman up to fellow freshman D-man Braden Crampton. Crampton shot in, deflected down. Appleby's save. A check made and spins the Falcon away from the play. That was Quinn Emerson that got hacked down. But he seems to be okay and in relatively good humor of that play. A minute 8 to go in the power play.
Emerson right in front of Appleby looking for a tip and then looking for a rebound.
Yeah, that was a worth it hit, too, to clear him away from the blue paint.
Yeah.
Clean, no cross check. Juskinis, that leveled him and then stood over him for a second. Spoke a couple of words, probably couldn't be said on air, but
just family cookie recipes, Ben.
1-0, Lake Superior State leads. The Falcons on the power play for 68 more seconds. Now 1 of those seconds expired after a false draw. Brody Waters loses it back. Antonacci with the puck. Hodson takes him out of the play. The puck away. Ulrich to poke it out. He got it down the left wing. 2-on-1 for Lake State. Ulrich defended nicely by Duran. The Falcons take it the other way. Duran takes Ulrich away with the puck. A nice play defensively by the forward. Now McKinley with the puck, working in tight. Duran feeds it in. Hodson in there, but never got to him. Up at the blue line, McKinley holds it in. D-to-D pass, but it lands to Duran instead of Stjernberg. Down and deep to Hodson, right wing side. 35 seconds to go on the power play. Down to the goal line. Behind the net of Appleby, into Hodson. Hodson fans on his pass. Encroaching was the defenseman. He gets it back up to the blue line. Stjernberg, deep pass to McKinley. Down to Hodson. Hodson feeds it across. Doesn't land for Duran on the left side. Stjernberg back up. Sets up McKinley. McKinley sets up Stjernberg. Slap shot deflected away by Antonacci behind the goal line. Down south of it, 10 seconds to go on the power play. Cleared down by the Lakers, and they kill off 5 penalties in a game against the Falcons. An impressive defensive performance today by the Lake Superior State Lakers. Back up to full strength. The Falcons working in. Martin between the legs of the defender into the offensive zone. Jake Sloan behind the red line. Played by Max Martin on the left wing boards. Brown gives him a nice little push into the half wall. Turns the puck over, and the Lakers take it away. Held inside the blue line. Now Crampton is decked by Druskinis. A big check there. Back-to-back big checks. The Lakers looking to convert, and they can't do it. A nice pass by Piku. Doesn't land to Lewandowski. Falcons up to center. Back and forth now. Max Martin, he dumps it in. Minville to go for the puck. Turned over to Jake Sloan. Slap shot in. Covered up by Appleby without the use of his hands. 5 minutes expired in the third period. Still a 1-goal lead for the Lakers. And a low-scoring affair here in the Madhouse on Mercer. In for the draw, Connor Levis, the fourth line, getting some work. Levis, Foe, and Brandon Wynot. Levis, the draft capital of the Winnipeg Jets, who, after a great season last season, are a bit lackluster this year. Toward the bottom of the Western Conference. Connor Hellebuck's injury does not help Winnipeg's chances. Levis drafted in the 7th round of the 2023 draft by the Jets. Higgins his feet ahead to that Jets draftee, and offsides. Why not a bit ahead of his freshman line mate? And we'll have a face-off come back out to center ice.
BG, in my opinion, was very sloppy on that last power play, and it seems like the sloppiness is kind of carried over. Starting to give up some opportunities that you cannot be giving up in this part of the game when you're down by 1.
Stjernberg, he slaps it in as he's checked by Ramos, but doesn't leave his feet. Emerson to keep it in the O-zone. Niedermeyer to do the same. His fling in, missed the net wide left. Going for a screen there was Grant. Now Grant chases behind the play. Ramos down the right wing. Defended by Grant. He takes him into the corner. Mangoni steered into the boards. Ulrich pressed up as well by Dom Ryman. Ryman with his stick in there, keeping the puck suspended on those right wing boards in the O-zone, and now the Falcons break it out to the right wing side. Emerson pulled. A penalty wanted by the Falcon bench, but no hand in the air. Referees have ate the whistles all week, which head coach Dennis Williams is complimentary of yesterday, but they've wanted a couple of penalties today that they didn't get. Duran in his own zone up to center ice. Tyler Hodson down the left wing makes a man miss. He'll be the first to the puck in the corner. Makes Bellinger miss. Milburn to sweep it out. Crampton guarding the blue line. Down deep of the goal line. Duran with the puck. Bellinger gets hit, poked away. In the corner and skated away by Antonacci. He looks to clear it, does so to Piku. Piku has to get it away as Falcon was converging, and the Falcons back in their own end. Connor Milburn on the forecheck. He pokes at the puck. Hodson to his defenseman, Crampton. Crampton in the boards. He's toppled down to the ice. McKinley with the puck in his own zone. Lakers trying to put together their second goal of the game. They scored only one yesterday. That was in the second period. They scored only one today. That was in the first period. That's the only goal of the game as well. The Falcons yet to score on 28 shot attempts. Back in his own zone, skating with the puck. Johnny Druskinis, the defenseman, had only 2 points in the last 16 games played coming into this weekend. 3 points in his first 4 games played for Druskinis, and he's got a point today. That was on the goal by Wilson Dahlheimer in the first. Puck bounces up into the Falcon bench. We get a stoppage here with over 8 minutes expired in the third period, and a 1-0 Lake State lead.
BG so far in the third period only has 2 shots on goal. Saying that they had 15 shots for the first period and 23 through the second. 11 through the second period. Only mustering two shots on goal so far is a little bit off their standard so far tonight.
Every point matters as we're getting toward the end of the CCHA season, toward more difficult competition too, and you don't even want to go to overtime and give up that point. You want to take 3 if you can, and that means that you got to make a move here and get a goal. Higgins sets up Niedermeyer, slap shot, score! No, the lights flickered. Referees say no, and the puck is stopped. It went off the post. Looked like it hit off of Appleby. I thought it crossed the goal line.
We're going to need
but
a replay
apparently
here.
no gesture from the referee, and I'm sure the away penalty box is going to open. Niedermeyer with a wicked clapper.
Ref said no. No goal is the call.
It beat Appleby.
Waiting for the overhead shot as the lights went off. That's an overhead shot of Steinman. There we go.
Appleby in the net. The slap shot coming from the right side of the blue line.
It didn't go in.
Side. It didn't go in. Caught some of it, but didn't get all the way in. Didn't break the goal line completely.
A little too excited was the goal. The goal horn and the lights here at the Slater.
The save made by the Iron in the Lake State end. The best chance the Falcons have had all game. The first time that they've really beat Appleby, and they didn't beat the goal line. Emerson, he's crushed. Center ice, Emerson lost his stick as well. He's going to go over to the bench. And a whistle.
A penalty coming against Lake Superior, I believe.
The hit in center looked clean. The puck was there, unless they rule that he was defenseless.
It was clean. As Emerson crushed.
Yeah, Mike Brown.
By Mike Brown.
No, the puck can't, or the net came off.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the hit looked
So no
clean.
penalty.
But the hand of the referee was in the air.
For a different reason.
Referees today, Jake Rakucki and Jonathan Zatarski. Linesman Logan Hollow and Pat Giles have been the crew for both games this weekend. Stjernberg, quick shot in toward Appleby, blocked down by Regan Milburn. Down to the right wing side, Mike Brown to clear it out. He does so. Slapping at the puck there was Brody Waters. Waters through center. Tries to make Mike Brown miss, but he goes for a check and bumps Brody Waters away from the puck. Waters, a big body. Mike Brown, 6'2", 222, pretty comparable. Duran blows a tire, loses the puck on the left wing side of the O-zone. Waters gets it into open ice, and the clearing is shut off. Kept inside the blue line with a check by Crampton. With the puck, Waters, high slot. Duran not able to hold it in, and Crampton will have to skate back and grab the puck. He got it in his own zone with Stjernberg. Lead pass up to Hodson. Puts a hesitation on, and the puck is away. Levis holds it inside the blue line. 9.5 minutes expired in the third period. 10.5 to go. A goal needed to tie up for the Falcons. 2 needed to get a regulation victory for the end of this game. Here's Connor Levis to the slot. Max Martin right to him, and he couldn't get a shot off. Couldn't settle the puck down. Here's Higgins. He lost the puck. Not able to hold it in. And a 4-on-2 coming the other way for the Lakers. Ryan Beck. And it's turned back over to Higgins, who slaps it out to center. Now Max Martin down the left wing, looking to redeem himself. Connor Levis, he feeds it in. Higgins with the puck now after the block. Low angle to Higgins. Appleby off of his leg. The left kicker of Rourke Appleby saves the goal. 10 exactly to go in the third. Lake State with the puck back in their own end. The Falcons encroaching in on desperation territory the way that their offense has functioned today. Grant off the half wall ahead. Into the Laker end of the ice. The blue and gold have the puck. Crampton gloves, drops in center. Good stick work off the half wall. Pass to himself, intercepted by Lewandowski. Out in center ice again on the logo. Blocked by Emerson. The bench has been shortened for Willie. That fourth line does not see much time when they're out there. It's just to get some rest for the top couple of lines, and it's probably going to shorten more as this game progresses. Druskinis with the puck. Right wing side tipped ahead by the Lakers outside of their own zone. Brody Waters carries it in. The entry, he's got Duran with him. Teleguin lifts it out to center ice. Niedermeyer didn't have the position. Hunter Ramos luckily turns it toward his own end. He might have had a breakaway had he taken step toward the BG side. And an offside there against the Lakers. And the puck will come back out to center for a faceoff. 9 minutes to go in the third period. 1-0 the Lakers lead. Crunch time for the Falcons. Juniper Brewing Company timeout. Juniper Brewing Company located at 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green. Visit their website at juniperbrew.com as well. You're listening to Falcon Hockey here in WBGU 88.1 FM.
Media Sports Network writes and publishes over 1,000 stories per year, including game previews, recaps, sidebars, opinion pieces, feature stories, and more. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to view all of our content for every sport throughout the year.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
BG Women's Basketball wraps up a short homestand at the Stroh Center against the Ohio Bobcats on Wednesday, January 21st at 7 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Gavin Gill, Noah Seeley, and Sam Bork begin the pregame show in the Kulin Center starting at 6:35 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, also streaming on bgfalconmedia.com. Adam Duffin and Dan Ridenauer will call the 7 p.m. tip-off at the Stroh.
This is Falcon Media Sports Network hockey coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Back here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, received word Dalton Norris is out of the dressing room, out of his gear. He has a boot on his right lower leg below the knee, so it is not a knee injury, which I'm assuming is better, I suppose. His knee injury, especially the ACL or MCL, might be season ending. This might not be as severe. The Falcons can't worry about their captain right now. They got to worry about what's happening on the ice. And what hasn't happened is a goal for the Falcons through the first 20 minutes and 10 minutes, for the first 40 minutes and 10 minutes here in the third period. We got half to go. A 1-goal lead for Lake State. Their only goal in the first 3 minutes in by Wilson Dahlheimer. And we haven't seen much since. A couple of high-quality chances, but you could probably count on your hand the number of times for each team. Brody Waters in his own zone. Caleb Mangoni to keep it in. He does so, pins it up against the boards on the left wing side of the O-zone for Lake State. Puck back up to the blue line. Mike Brown holds it in. He flings it towards Steinman and net for the Falcons. 20 saves, 1 goal allowed for Steinman. 30 saves in a row for Rourke Appleby. He played great yesterday, although took 2 goals allowed on 28 saves. He gets to the 30 mark today and has not yet allowed a goal. Falcons have some work to do to beat him. They need twice for 3 points in the CCHA. Druskinis fires it in, intercepted by Niedermeyer. Now the Falcons come away. Some offense down the right wing side for Dom Ryman. Ryman leaves it back. Niedermeyer working in, high slot. His shot, saved by Appleby. What a play by the sophomore.
Then Jaden
Another
Grant
Falcon down. He was checked as he converged on Appleby. Emerson and Bushy getting into it a bit.
I don't see anything
Fisher's
there.
getting his work in today. He has not yet left the bench. Grant is up. He's okay. He was cross-checked down to the ice. He took it into the ribs by Druskinis. So nothing going to come of it. No penalties, no injuries. The Falcons with a drop in the O-zone after a fabulous save by the sophomore goaltender, Appleby. He has played unbelievable this weekend. Like you said, looking for his first 0-goal performance since last year. Antonacci flips it out into the Lake State bench, and he did it from his own zone, so the faceoff's going to stay in the Lake State end of the ice. 7:43 to go in the third. Also, the Falcons may be looking back on the 4 power play opportunities they had and no scores. The 24% power play, that percentage is going to go down, but you needed at least one of those. McKinley, slap shot wide right of the goal, and the angle takes it off the rebound and back behind the rack. In the corner, Sloan is tied up. Puck away to Max Martin, battling with Antonacci behind the goal line. Falcons in the O-zone perennially this weekend. Wrapped around in front with the puck now. Breck McKinley, he fires it in, and it's picked off by Piku as he takes it up. Breck McKinley, 5 shots on the game. Only one of them registered as a shot on goal, but he's got a bunch of them blocked. Max Martin in the corner. Sloan again with him, and Martin will get it back up to the blue line. Niedermeyer to hold it in on the left wing side. Niedermeyer working in, goal line. Searches for a pass. He's got a man in front. Niedermeyer, wrist shot, and it's blocked away by Max Martin, looking for a cleanup. got in the way of Niedermeyer's shot. Piku slaps it ahead. A check there from Crampton. Falcons back in their own zone with puck possession. 2.5 to go in the third period. Niedermeyer has 2 game winners last season. One against Northern Michigan, one against Ferris State. Now, that as a forward, he scored more as a defenseman this year than he did as a forward last year. Puck ahead, breakaway, Ramos, his shot save made Steinman. Just caught a piece of it, maybe a stitch of the freshman goaltender on a breakaway for Hunter Ramos. The Falcons come the other way now. That was dangerous and could have made it a 2-score game quick. Up at the blue line, held in by Sternberg. No, they blow it dead.
Offside.
Offside against Bowling Green. 6:05 to go in the third.
You want to talk about having a player's number. Steinman tonight has had Hunter Ramos' number. Another big save.
Ramos, a team leading 5 shots on goal. The Falcons team leaders Higgins and Niedermeyer, both with 6 shots on goal. Higgins with 8 total shot attempts. That's what they brought him in to do. Duran to Sternberg. McKinley slaps it around the horseshoe of the offensive zone. Sternberg guarding the blue line. The Falcons have to keep it in the O zone. Hodgson's shot goes off the stick of Druskinis. It's down back behind the goal line. Hodgson with the puck. Fans on his pass. He had Sternberg open at the blue line. Didn't give it up and turns it over to the Lakers. Centering pass from Teleguin. Knocked down. Cleared away by the Falcons. Back in their own end. They have the puck. Bank pass up. Duran down the left wing. The junior working in. Assisted a goal yesterday. That's his only point on the weekend. He's got no points today, as do none of the Falcons. Shot in. Rebound chance Duran, and he was just wide right of that opportunity. Another shot in. Waters holds it inside the blue line. He feeds it down into Duran, defended by Druskinis behind the net. Duran still with it. Open ice for Hodgson, misses his pass. Skating all the way in, Max Martin to hold it in. Puck away to the Lakers and launched down to the other end. 5 minutes to go in the third. The Falcons will be benefiting from an icing here as the Lakers will skate tired. And this is going to be a big draw and a big opportunity for the Falcons with tired legs for the Lakers.
Also, as the game starts to whittle away till its final minutes, you have to wonder when, probably not if, when will Coach really want to pull Steinman, or how much time does he want to give his team?
Jaden Grant in for the draw. He took all the big face-offs yesterday, or the ones that they needed to win. He wins this one back. Shot goes high and off the back of the cage. Bushy comes up with the puck. The defenseman ices it down to center ice. Sternberg comes up with it. The Falcons force it back up. Lake State gets a much-needed change. The Falcons with the puck in the O-zone. Here's Emerson. Back up to the blue line. Sternberg takes steps in toward the face-off dot on the right side. Back behind the goal line again. Now taken out into the corner. Emerson still battling for the puck. Out to the blue line. Crampton holds it in. Back to Emerson. He tips it down for Grant. Still battling. There, Bellinger pins it up with Jaden Grant and Dominic Ryman. Ryman in the corner, back up, blue line. Sternberg late to the party, couldn't hold it in. 4:10 to go in the third period. Falcons running out of time to make something happen. 3 points, all but off the table. Now you're just hoping to force overtime and maybe get 2. Off the glass, out to center ice. Slapped out of the air by Niedermeyer. Touched first by the Lakers, so no high sticking. Max Martin makes a man miss. Foe up the right wing. Brett Foe along with Jake Sloan, Jackson Niedermeyer, and Breck McKinley back on defense. Galloway to force it up. Got it up the center. The Falcons will chase and get there first. It's an icing against the Lakers. And another O-zone drop coming to the Falcons. 3:30 to go in the third period, 1-0. Lake State leads a goal 3 minutes into the game by Wilson Dahlheimer, his third of the season, assisted by Galloway and Druskinis. That's the only score of the game, the only time Steinman's been beat. Appleby has yet to be beat for the blue and gold. On the right side of your radio dial now, the draw in for Duran. Still on the dot, Higgins gets the first touch. Back to Hodgson, behind the goal to Connor Milburn, who pins it up. Hodson's being held up behind the goal. Higgins down again. Hodson a step late to Connor Milburn on the right side. Off the glass, up to center. Looked like a ceiling grazer there, but didn't hit the ceiling at all. Here's Stjernberg back in his own zone. 3 minutes to go. Tyler Hodson feeds it in deeper. The bench has been shortened, and this segment of skaters is getting extra tired, especially the defenseman that has been limited down to McKinley and Higgins and Stjernberg and Niedermeyer.
Puck went up and out of play. Face off in the offensive zone for the Orange and Brown to the right side of Appleby, who's made 33 saves tonight.
Jaden Grant in for the draw again. He's 15-6 today. 21 draws. Same number he had yesterday. He's won one more today than he did. He's won them at a big situation. It's iced down against the Falcons. 2:45 to go. With the puck, Mike Brown lifts it out to center. Crampton with the puck at the opponent blue line, but outside of it, Niedermeyer forces it in. Lakers with the puck. Iced down, Lewandowski down the left wing. He takes it up into the offensive zone, defended by Niedermeyer. Goes for the puck, works it free. Ryman comes up with it. Ryman moves it up past his own blue line and through center. He loses the puck as he gains the entry. Teleguin knocks it down. This is the easy portion of the game for the Lakers. Every time you get the puck, dump it. 2:10 to go in the third period. Steinman edging toward the Falcon bench. He's out of the crease way. The Falcons trying to gain possession before they can get the freshman goaltender out. The puck in deeper. Bushy with the puck. He's got it on the right wing side. Steinman will have to stay in the net. $1:50 to go in the third period. He'll come out as soon as the Falcons gain possession. They're in the O-zone now. Lakers with the puck. It's iced down out to center ice. Sloan with the puck now for the Falcons. Up to Max Martin on the left wing side. The Falcons got to force Steinman out of the net. Puck back into their own end. Stjernberg will come back, grab the puck. He has it cleanly. Steinman's going out of the net. He tells Stjernberg so. Stjernberg takes it up. He lifts it in. He'll be the first to this puck on the right wing side. Shot in. Appleby in tight. Attacker. Steinman out. 6 skaters on for the Falcons. The bank pass. Working in. Hodson. He loses the puck. Off the half wall and out. The Falcons will get there first.
No icing.
Higgins plays the puck. 1:10 to go in the third period. The Falcons down 1. Much needed points that can be left on the table here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. 3 games played, all 3 won by the Falcons, and they're looking for 4 today. Lifted out to center again. Under a minute to go in the third period. The Falcons still looking for offensive zone time. Crampton in his own zone. Gives it to Ryman. Ryman leaves it back. Jaden Grant with the puck. Braden Crampton back in his own zone. Still working up. Fired in, rinked around to the left wing side. Johnny Druskinis lifted out and down to the other end. Getting there first, Brandon Piku, a try for the empty net. Save made! Ty Higgins, he laid out in full. 30 seconds to go. Tyler Hodson, he's got it in center ice. He's been living on the ice the last couple of minutes of gameplay. Piku, a try for the empty net. Blocked by Niedermeyer up at the blue line in the Falcon end. Brody Waters with the puck in his own zone. The Falcons try and break it out. Ulrich takes Brody Waters almost down to the ice. The Falcons up. Niedermeyer gives it back. McKinley feeds it in. Penalty upcoming in the right wing corner. 7 seconds to go in the third period. Referee's got his hand in the air. We'll see what the call is. Steinman still out of the net.
It'll be against Lake Superior.
Piku for hooking. 2 minutes, maybe gratuitous. 6.9 seconds left to go in the third period. The Falcons most likely going to use their timeout. They need a face-off win, a quick shot.
Maybe get a rebound opportunity. Multiple big block shots. One from Higgins reaching all the way out with his stick, and earned by Niedermeyer to even give the Falcons opportunity to be in this situation. Regardless of the outcome of this game, I'm sure Coach Willie will be happy with their performance and their effort in the dying minute.
I don't know if a timeout will be used. The referee coming over to head coach Dennis Williams as he's talking with his guys in front of the Falcon bench. 6.9. It comes down to the last 7 in the third period. 1-0, Lake Superior State leads. Not a soul has left the Slater Family Ice Arena just to watch the last 7 seconds of gameplay. Referee's gonna go talk something out. Looks like they're maybe gonna go review something. Falcons challenging for a major penalty. Maybe they saw something. Maybe they're just utilizing this as their timeout. A longer chance to talk things over. Referees will go into the box and look at the monitor for a little bit. Major penalty wouldn't help the Falcons too much. 7 seconds to go, you already got a 2-minute minor, and if you don't score here, the penalty doesn't matter.
But in the event that they do score, it would carry over to the overtime, which might be what they're trying to achieve.
If you're going to use your timeout, you might as well use the challenge.
Challenge might take longer than your 30-second timeout, so
that might be what Willie is wagering, but also he might have seen something that he wanted to utilize the challenge for. It was a hooking.
A little bit of both.
It was a hooking against Brandon Piku, so it's not like anything that could be upgraded. If it is anything, it would be away from the play.
Situation for Willie where it's like either you get the major and you potentially get a power play into overtime, or
showing the replay here of the last offensive rush, McKinley was dropped down to the ice as he tried to take a shot. Hodson, a good pass to McKinley as he streaked through the slot. But the Falcons in a much needed timeout here. The last about 3 minutes of the game, there's been no stoppages. And the Falcons' shortened bench is skating pretty tired.
Another benefit, give your team more time to rest, regardless of the outcome of the play.
It's been a combination of Ryman, Grant, Waters, Hodson, Duran, and Emerson.
Review is over.
Nearly this entire period. 7.5. They added time onto the clock. They only added 0.6 seconds. Maybe that'll be the difference. Jaden Grant in for the draw. Must-win face-off for the Falcons. They've got all their scorers on the ice.
They need a face-off win followed by a quick shot and potentially a rebound.
Grant in for the draw. Face-off won by the Falcons. Higgins gives it up. Sternberg slap shot into Appleby. It's cleared away out to the blue line. Higgins try for a shot. Slap shot in from Sternberg. It's blocked.
Now a fight to wrap it up.
Going on.
And Appleby's getting it.
Big one.
Appleby's
on
in
the
it.
bench. Down at the goal line. Being pummeled are a couple of Falcons all tied up. Sternberg's wrapping up the Lakers. Some tensions boiling over there. The Falcons and the Lakers. A full line brawl there down in the corner. Buckets off, sticks
They're
down.
still going at it.
Jaden
Grant's still in it. He takes a man down.
They're all going to be separated. The game is over. The Lakers have won 1-0, and Rourke Appleby will take his first shutout since November 8th, 2024.
There will be no handshake line, I'm
up
assuming.
in northern Michigan. That was a 5-0 win for the Lakers. That was the last shutout Rourke Appleby has, and he has one here today against the Falcons. 3 points to the Lakers and a split weekend on the second night of gameplay. Bowling Green has gone scoreless in this game. And not only did
now they keep going. Sternberg's back in it.
Sternberg still talking to Mike Brown, and they're going to have to be separated.
A Lake Superior player was going to retrieve their bucket, and Sternberg knocked the bucket away along the ice, similar to Sidney Crosby back in the day against Philly.
Lake Superior has
Bushy is shoved off the ice.
Lake Superior has all the energy right now.
They want,
and they are giving it.
Lake Superior wants a handshake line. The refs aren't going to allow it. There should not be a handshake line after this game.
Sasha Teleguin, he shakes the hands of the referees. All the Lakers will do so, assuming the Falcons will as well, but they will not shake the hands of the Lakers. Not many Falcon fans have left this building, although it is a 1-0 loss for Bowling Green.
And also a Lake Superior player we now see was holding on to a presumably Sternberg's bucket, and now they'll chuck it down. And now Sternberg is having a very lengthy discussion with the Lake Superior fans behind their bench, and he is still giving it to them.
Sternberg not happy. He might need to calm down just a bit as he is really chirping.
We don't need a suspension.
You already lost Norris today, your captain. Sternberg, the alternate captain, he is still talking.
Still going.
The coaches out of the bench. They are presumably back in the dressing room or in their coach's office, and nobody to stop Stjernberg from saying what he's saying. The Falcons going to collect their gear, and they're going to skate off. They're doing so having not scored a goal and allowing one in the first period to Wilson Dahlheimer. The first goal, the game winner, assisted by Galloway and Draskinis. Bill and Karen Hoffert, stars of the game, coming up, and a post-game show from Nate, Gavin, and Artie back in the Cooling Center studios. You're listening to Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU women's basketball has started 3-2 in MAC play, and senior forward Kendall Moxie has been a breakout star as of late. On January 3rd against Central Michigan, Moxie posted a double-double stat line of 16 points and 15 rebounds in a close loss. She followed the performance with 15 points and 8 rebounds with a near double-double in the victory over Northern Illinois on January 10th. Overall, on the season, Moxie is shooting over 78% from the final and leading the Falcons in field goal percentage. The Maryland native is making a strong push to be a consistent part of the rotation. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
Check out recaps of this and every BGSU hockey match online at bgfalconmedia.com.
A season series is over. The Falcons win 3 of the games but lose here tonight 1-0 to the Lake Superior State Lakers. A shutout for Rourke Appleby, the goaltender for Lake State. Bill and Karen Hoffert, longtime BGSU hockey fans, Falcon Club members, and listeners of WBGU 88.1 FM. They have sponsored our stars of the game this season, starting with the third star. Gave it to Jacob Steinman, the only Falcon out of the 3 stars. 21 saves, 1 goal allowed, a .955 save percentage. A fantastic game for the rookie goaltender, but he ended up taking the loss with no goal support, literally none, from his Falcon skaters ahead of him. Wilson Dahlheimer, the second star of the game. He had the game-winning goal that 3 minutes into the first period, assisted by Galloway and Draskinis. That is his 3rd goal of the season. Wilson Dahlheimer, the 4th-line center. And then the first star of the game, unsurprisingly, Rourke Appleby, stood on his head the entire 60 minutes today. 35 saves, no goals allowed, and his first shutout since November 8th of 2024 against Northern Michigan. The Lakers take 3 points toward the conference standings. Needed for them. The Falcons needed 3 points as well for their best chance at making a run at the top, and didn't get it today. They end the weekend with 3 points, a split weekend with the Lakers after a sweep last weekend. They go into Bemidji State next weekend. Myself out there in Bemidji, Minnesota for the 2-game series, 7:07 Central Time and 6:07 Central Time there in the Sanford Center in Bemidji. Myself, Nathan Burkett, sending it back to Nate, Gavin, and Artie back in the Cooling Center studios tonight. We say so long from the Slater Family Ice Arena. You're listening to Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BG Women's Basketball wraps up a short homestand at the Stroh Center against the Ohio Bobcats on Wednesday, January 21st at 7 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Gavin Gill, Noah Seeley, and Sam Bork begin the pregame show in the Cooling Center starting at 6:35 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, also streaming on bgfalconmedia.com. Adam Duffin and Dan Ridenauer will call the 7 p.m. tip-off at the Stroh.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
What you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at smokeybear.com, and remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces more feature stories about BGSU athletics than any other media outlet. Make sure to head over to bgfalconmedia.com and follow Falcon Media Sports Network at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with all of our content.
Welcome into the Falcon Media Sports Network post-game show here on WBGU 88.1 FM. The Falcons falling to the Lake Superior State Lakers 1-0 tonight, making this a tie for the series. Last night the Falcons got a 3-1 win. Tonight the Lakers got a 1-0 win, so kind of a split weekend series here. Artie and Gavin, last night, kind of a better night for the Falcons, to say the least. But really, what led up to tonight's game, being a very low-scoring game, first off, but also the Falcons getting the loss tonight.
I mean, they couldn't get any momentum tonight. I mean, it snaps their win streak. They've won 4 in a row coming into this one. A really tough loss if you're the Falcons. I mean, you didn't score a single point tonight either. If you can score, you didn't get an assist, you didn't get anything, so you didn't get any points. That's going to hurt you a little bit in the CCHA standing. So just a really tough one. And when you went 0 for 5 on power plays too, just seems like nothing could go right tonight for the Falcons.
And it seems like the Lakers got underneath the Falcons' skin way too much.
I mean, it was pretty heated in many moments.
Yeah, that last
like the very at the end of the third period, it was there was a big skirmish that happened, big fight. I mean, when
you hear Nathan screaming about it, yeah.
Yeah, whenever you hear a goalie gets into a fight, that's a big deal because goalies never get into fights. So they found a way to get underneath the Falcons' skin and kind of use that to their leverage. So maybe the Falcons were just, a little bit distracted in that aspect.
I mean, yeah, they just got into it at the end. I mean, I don't think I've heard Ben in all my years, being in the studio helping him out. I don't think I've ever heard him talk about a fight that long and kind of that intensely for a while there. I mean,
the Ohio State fight was pretty big.
That was pretty big too. I mean, there's been a couple moments this year. Maybe this is just the year.
Maybe this is the year.
The year of the fight.
The year of the fights. Yeah.
The Falcon fighters.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just a tough loss. I mean, they just couldn't get anything going, in all 3 periods. I mean, you kept thinking, this is it. I mean, there was a moment there where I think there was a goal, at least initially, but then it was reversed on the scoreboard. But, those tough moments.
Even with you saying, they couldn't get anything going, on the stat sheet, the Falcons, they led on shot and goals. They led on shots. They had less penalties. Less penalty minutes, less penalties. They won the face-offs. So, on a stat sheet, they look like they should have had this game under wraps. But, I mean, they just nothing was they couldn't get the puck in the net, and that's.
And that's the thing is they have these good stats, but really the one number that matters most, the score, didn't go in their favor tonight. So
I mean, shout out to Rourke Appleby for the Lake Superior State. I mean, he played terrific.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 35 saves. Just an amazing performance in him at the goal. I mean, when you're taking that much pressure from an offense or an attack like BG, and you don't allow anything, that's just a terrific performance.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, they took what they learned from last night, too, losing last night. They took that. I mean, they were able to find, as you guys were saying, a way to get under the Falcons' skin. But, yeah, able to come back and, again, win tonight 1-0 against the Lake Superior State. Lakers beating the Bowling Green Falcons tonight. Coming up, we'll have our Falcon Media Sports Network Player of the Game. We'll also run down some other scores from the CCHA and college hockey this night. Coming up here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hi, this is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Every 2 minutes, another American is sexually assaulted. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, you are not alone. Help is just a call or click away through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Please call 1-800-656-HOPE, that's HOPE, or visit RAIN.org, that's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by RAIN and this station.
My daughter's Aspen. She has stage 4 neuroblastoma. St. Jude is it saved us. The financial help given here goes a long way. the research helps, not just here, it reaches the whole world. And St. Jude is a gift. I just want to say thank you.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Welcome back to the Falcon Media Sports Network post-game show. Again, the Falcons losing tonight to the Lake Superior State Lakers, 1-0 our final score. Artie and Gavin, your Falcon Media Sports Network player of the game.
I mean, it's a little tough to look at BG's side of things. If I were to pick a player from Lake Superior State, I would say Appleby was probably the best player.
Appleby, for sure.
Was the best player on all sides of the ice tonight. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, 35 saves, just absolutely terrific performance. BG is a little tougher. I mean, it's difficult to point out who was because they couldn't really get much going today. I mean
Jacob Stein, the goalie, had 21 saves.
Yeah, so I mean, a
but
good
he
performance.
also had the one goal on him, and that, I mean, you want to avoid that.
Niedermeyer had 6 shots on goal. So did Higgins. They didn't get anything to get in the net. So
I mean, if we had to pick one, it would be a Lake Superior State player.
Yeah.
in my opinion, and then it'd be Appleby.
So I would say Appleby as well. So I think Appleby would be the player of the game if we were to go in the Lake Superior State side.
All right. Let's get a look at what's going on around the CCHA tonight. Again, the Michigan Tech Huskies, defeating the Minnesota State Mavericks 4-1. A few other games going into overtime. We got Augustana defeating Ferris State. That one went into overtime, and Augustana got that win 4-3. In the second right now, Bemidji State and St. Thomas tied up 1-1. And that's look at what's going on around the CCHA. Gavin, any more matches in the rest of college hockey that you're following?
The Notre Dame Penn State game is currently Penn State's up 4-3 at the end of the second. So future opponent in Notre Dame, one to be looking at. Also, Penn State is ranked 8th in the country. Boston College against Providence. Providence is up 4-3. Actually, that game is over. Providence beat Boston College 4-3. No other games are really sticking out at me right now. Let me look at what games wrapped up today. Princeton, the 18th ranked team in the country, lost to Colgate 2-0. That's pretty big for the rankings. Denver over North Dakota, ranked on ranked matchup, but no other games that are really sticking out to me. I mean, that Michigan Tech against Minnesota State, that one's pretty big. I mean, not just for CCHA, but for college rankings as well.
All right, thanks, Gavin. Taking a look at what's ahead here on the Falcon Media Sports Network. Coming up on Tuesday night, men's basketball back in action over in Kalamazoo, Michigan, taking on Western Michigan. Artie, you're going to be on the broadcast for that.
We'll be taking the trip out there to Kalamazoo for that broadcast, so I'm very excited about that. That'll be my first time in Western Michigan, so
I'll be here during the board op.
You'll be there in spirit.
Hosting the studio. So
you'll
I'll
be along with the trip with us.
You can hear me if you tune into the broadcast. I just don't have to visit Kalamazoo. But if you want to, listen in. That's coming up on Tuesday night, 7 o'clock tip-off for that. Pregame at 6:35 over on Falcon Radio. You can, of course, listen to Falcon Radio as well as WBGU 88.1 FM on our website, bgfalconmedia.com. And then on Wednesday night over here on WBGU 88.1 FM, got some women's basketball action as the Falcons take on the Ohio Bobcats. That tip-off also coming up at 7 o'clock, pregame 6:35, and the Ohio and Bowling Green women's game, that will be here at the Stroh Center. And then coming up for
so
hockey.
Artie gets a shout out, but I don't? All right.
He's walking out right now.
Oh, and you will be on the board for that one, Gavin. Happy? Okay. Yes. Finally, for hockey next Friday, taking on Bemidji State up in Bemidji, Minnesota. Puck drop for that at 8:07. Pre-game around 7:35 to 7:40, and you can check that out here on WBGU 88.1 FM. I'll be on the board for that. Ben Korak will be up in Minnesota. So with that, though, that's going to start to wrap things up.
So one more thing. If we mentioned the NFL earlier for playoffs, obviously still going on. Seahawks up 17-6 against the 49ers. Broncos beat the Bills to advance in the playoffs, but if you hadn't heard, if you're an NFL fan, Bo Nix has fractured his ankle, so he's out for the rest of the season. So the Broncos were playing a backup QB for the rest of the postseason, and Jarrett Stidham. So if you're a Broncos fan, or if you didn't know that, That's some breaking news that just got reported in the last 30 minutes after the game.
They'll be playing the Patriots or
the Texans.
The Texans next week.
All right. Your final thoughts, though, going on tonight's match here before we get to NFL.
Disappointing.
It was a very disappointing loss.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for us tonight. I'm Nate Hinners, Artie Abrego, and Gavin Gill joining me here in the WBGU 88.1 FM studio at the Killeen Center. Also, by the way, be sure to tune in tomorrow from 4 to 6 here on WBGU for the Zig Zone, talking all things Falcon athletics, including tonight's match. So be sure to tune in 4 to 6 p.m. tomorrow here on WBGU 88.1 FM for the Zig Zone. For now, though, have a great rest of your Saturday night. Stay warm and safe out there.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.